session we are running for Jito members and other family members of or friends, whoever can join these webinars. So thank you for giving your time, Shwetaji. I hope
Thank
all
you
will
so
like the
much.
session. Yeah, and all the best to you. Thank you, friends.
Thank
All the
you.
best to all the members. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Siddesh.
Thank you, Vijay. So I just thank you, Vijay. So
Thank you.
go ahead with the flow. And जैसे कि आप सभी को पता है रजिस्ट्रेशन के टाइम पे आप लोगों ने जो क्वेश्चंस हमसे शेयर किए थे मैंने ऑलरेडी श्वेता जी के साथ शेयर कर दिया है एंड शी विल बी कवरिंग दोस क्वेश्चंस इन अ प्रेजेंटेशन. उसके अलावा भी अगर आपके क्वेश्चन आते हैं यू कैन मेंशन दैट क्वेश्चन इन द चैट बॉक्स एंड में जब हम Q&A सेशन करेंगे तब मैं श्वेता जी से क्वेश्चंस पूछूंगा. नाउ आई वुड लाइक टू से समथिंग अबाउट आवर स्पीकर फॉर द डे. श्वेता जी. Shweta ji is an MS in electronics engineering from United States. She is a digital marketing consultant and a lead trainer. She has done a digital marketing certification from Singapore Management Institute. She is a HubSpot certified social media and email marketing practitioner. And she is the founder of Shell Digital, which is a firm, social media digital marketing agency firm in Delhi. So I welcome Shweta ji. So Shweta ji, over to you, please.
Thank you, Siddesh ji, so much. I thank Jito for giving me this opportunity to share a bit of my knowledge to all the community members. I hope this is a good learning experience for all. Thank you, Vijay ji, for introducing me to Siddesh ji and making all the arrangements for today's session.
Yeah, thank you.
I would start with a small introduction about myself. Allow me to share my screen first. Couple of things. I have designed this presentation keeping in mind that most of you are business owners and either starting into digital marketing or are looking forward, already established certain aspects of social media and are now looking to upskill or enhance those areas. So this presentation covers the basics and a little more strategic point of view, not the advanced enterprise level stuff. I've made it very generic for all people to understand. So let me share my screen. So I hope my screen is visible to everyone.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So I welcome you all to this email marketing session. Our topic for today is how to build effective email marketing strategy. It's 3:10. I'm going to talk until maybe 4:30 or 4:45, and then we will start with question and answer session. In between, if you have any questions, please put it in the chat box and maybe Siddesh ji can moderate those questions, and towards the end of the session, we can answer those one by one. Another thing I would like to tell you is
Shweta ji, just a small request.
Sure.
If you can speak in English, Hindi and English mix, and preference
I will try.
that would be better.
मैं कोशिश करती हूँ, but हाँ मेरा problem ये है कि बीच में हिंदी बीच में English आ ही जाता है. मतलब there are some terms which I really don't find words in Hindi to address, but
No
I'll try to mix Hindi and English. And just in case you have any questions, I request everybody to put it on the chat box, because I don't want to disturb the flow of the presentation. So we can answer the questions towards the end. So maybe Siddesh ji आप मुझे help कर सकते हैं कि
Sure.
questions आप मतलब moderate कर लीजिए, and at the end you can ask me. All right. So let me start with a little bit about myself. I am an electronics engineer and about 14 years of experience. But हालांकि मैं वैसी दिखती नहीं हूँ, but I have 14 years of industry experience. I have this Shell Digital firm which I established in last year. I mean, the conceptualization started in 2018, but then I was in a full-time, good-paid job, which I didn't have enough guts to actually leave the full-time job and get into my own firm. But somehow there was some kind of push which told that okay, whether you make if X is your if X is your expenses, and if you make X plus alpha or X plus beta, that alpha beta is just an additional bonus, right? So you should be doing what you like doing. So I am a digital marketer by choice and interest. Certainly, marketing requires a lot of creativity and understanding, but engineering background helps us to put all of those into analytics. And in digital marketing, knowledge about IT, which is information and technology, is very important. You need to understand data, you need to understand graphs, you need to understand networking, you need to understand algorithms. In fact, most of you are all business owners, you are all into trading. You would also know that just you don't go with your gut feeling. Now algorithmic trading has become very popular, where you use actually financial engineering by studying the statistics and graphs to decide where you want to invest your money. Similarly, what idea is going to work for your business is not something that you just go with the gut feeling. There are a lot of data points which you need to evaluate and then make a conscious decision. Similarly, in digital, there are many data points that we keep collecting. The beauty of digital marketing is that you can track and collect data points at every point in customers' journey, whether they are buying, whether they are not buying, whether they just visited the website, whether they are just fans and not giving you enough business. All of those things can be really tracked, right? So, background of IT definitely helps for digital marketers. Of course, you need to have the creative sense to actually make your things go viral. So I'm also associated with Society of Women Engineers, the Health of Women Forum, IESA, IEEE, and IET. I'm also NASCOM working member for Future Skills working group. So basically, we are a team of digital marketers who decide that what should be the job profile of different digital marketing team members, like whether you have a campaign manager, whether you have an SEO expert, or whether you have a social media community manager. All of those roles are different. One digital marketing person cannot really do everything. You need different types of skills and understanding when you talk about digital. My hobbies are reading, writing, music, and traveling. I mean, these are generic hobbies, but I'm a big fan of movies and I connect a lot with Bollywood. And that is one aspect where your audience can also connect. The moment you talk about any dialogues in your creative or any dialogues in your social media posting, you will see the engagement goes really fast. You know, you use those big figures, their famous lines, and then you correlate with them. So sometimes you need to think like the commoner and the people who would understand what you're trying to say, right? जैसे ही मैं बोलती हूँ गब्बर से कौन डरेगा और Mogambo खुश हुआ, so people know what I'm really talking about. That face really flashes, right? So that is what your skills or your creative sense will come into play. Sometimes you need to play a little innocent and naive. You cannot be too abstract in your thinking. टू मच ऑफ क्रिएटिव मतलब मॉडर्न ड्राइंग बना दो जो लोगों को नहीं समझ में आए, तो उसका एंगेजमेंट भी कम होता है. जितना सिंपल हो, लोगों की लैंग्वेज में हो, उतना लोगों को इंटरेक्शन करने में आसानी होती है. So I'm sorry, when I talk in Hindi, I go really typical. So let's understand digital landscape. We are in 2020. What is the landscape like? Where are we and where are our audiences? So let me take you back to 1990s. I was a kid then, and I assume most of you were either teenagers or maybe started your careers in 1990s. So during that time, television was one of the primary areas for advertisements. सभी को निरमा का जिंगल पता है, बजाज का जिंगल पता है, राइट? वो वाले जो जिंगल्स है वो हमारे माइंड में आज भी गुनगुनाते हैं, मतलब वो चलते रहते हैं, निरमा निरमा वॉशिंग पाउडर निरमा या हमारा बजाज, राइट? उसके बाद में 2000 में वेबसाइट बिकेम Y2K में everybody started understanding that we need to have website for our businesses, and website became popular. Blogging, meaning people, everybody had the flair of writing. whoever had the flair of writing and couldn't write a book thought कि ठीक है, short stories in the form of blogs can do better. And networking, social networking, Orkut was the first engine, or Orkut was the first platform that we got introduced to. But then later Facebook took over the entire model, and Facebook actually started like a dating site. It was I don't know if you all know about the story. So Mark Zuckerberg and his couple of roommates, they were sitting और वहां पे बस एक dating site बनाया कि girls और boys एक दूसरे को rank करेंगे. And slowly it was banned, and then finally it's one of the biggest networking platforms. It is so big that if you were supposed to name countries and name countries with the population, Facebook would be the #1 country with highest population. There are so many users from all age group, from all countries available on Facebook. And now in 2020, we have become very rigid of too much of data and too much information coming to us. मतलब हम बहुत selective हो गए कि हमको क्या सुनना है. We don't want to listen to everybody. We don't want to listen to everybody's opinion. If I want to buy a kurta, then I'm going to search only for kurta, and better the person sells me only kurta. मतलब अगर वो कुछ और सेल करने की कोशिश करता है और वो स्ट्रेटेजिक नहीं है, तो आई वुड प्रोबब्ली वॉक आउट ऑफ द शॉप. सो टारगेटेड मार्केटिंग इज वेरी वेरी क्रिटिकल बिकॉज पीपल डोंट वांट टू नो मोर. अगर उनको कुछ चाहिए तो वो ऑलरेडी सर्च इंजिन इतने पॉपुलर हो गए हैं, वो जाकर सर्च कर सकते हैं. अगर मुझे वाटर प्यूरिफायर नहीं बाय करना है, तो आई डोंट वांट टू सी द एडवर्टीजमेंट्स व्हिच आर सेलिंग वाटर प्यूरिफायर्स. So you have to understand that targeted marketing is the way ahead. If you do not target, if you do not understand ki who's your right customer, and you keep sending information to everybody, first thing, you are going to waste a lot of time and effort making that information available for everyone. Second thing, the ROI, when you start calculating, you will say कि अरे 10,000 लोगों को मेल भेजी और सिर्फ 4 लोगों ने रिप्लाई किया, बट 10,000 में कितने आपके एक्चुअल ऑडियंस थे, राइट? यू माइट बी थिंकिंग कि मेरे 50,000 फ्रेंड्स है इंस्टाग्राम पे और 20,000 फॉलोअर्स है लिंक्डइन पर, बट वो 20,000 आपके फैमिली और फ्रेंड्स भी हो सकते हैं, आपके नेटवर्किंग के लोग भी हो सकते हैं जो आपको लाइक करते हैं इसलिए आपका पेज लाइक करते हैं. So those are called as vanity metrics. Vanity metrics मतलब it's a feel good factor. बस बिल्कुल अच्छा लग रहा है, numbers बढ़ रहा है, दिखाने के लिए अच्छे हैं. But the conversion कि वो 20,000 में मैं जब एक post डालती हूँ कि ठीक है I'm going to conduct a webinar, कितने actually webinar करने में interested है. That is another important aspect that we have to try and understand when we talk about targeted marketing. So targeted email marketing is known to be the most effective strategy for business growth, because here we are talking to only the people who want to buy our products or would be willing to buy our products or services. यहाँ पे आज 100-150 लोग webinar में हैं. So if I want to sell my email marketing services, these are probably the right person. Whereas Jito network probably has 2,000 people, but 2,000 people may not be everybody is interested to know about this, right? So this is a very targeted group who actually would want to know more and buy or understand this products and services. So next we talk about is only targeted marketing. Now that we understand email is very, very targeted, let's go and look into some of the facts and figures. First email was sent in 1971 by Roy Tomlinson to himself. He wrote an email which he sent it to himself, and the first campaign, मतलब mass mailing जो हुआ था, वो 1978 में हुआ था by Gary Twerk from Digital Equipment. He sent a promotional email to 400 people, and the sales that he got from that in 1978 was 13 million US dollars. 13 million US dollars in 1978, selling his lap computers and servers. Digital Equipment Corporation is a US-based company who is into IT products. So when today's session, we are talking about email marketing, wherein we are talking about mass mailing, meaning one is to many communication. हम लोग same email बहुत लोगों को भेजने वाले हैं. I'm not going to talk about इफेक्टिव कम्युनिकेशन स्ट्रैटेजी. मतलब अगर मुझे एचआर को मेरा कवर लेटर लिखना है तो वो कैसे लिखूंगी, अगर मुझे कस्टमर को सेल्स पिच करना है तो वो कैसे करूंगी. सो टुडेज सेशन इज नॉट फॉर दैट. Today's session is mass mailing or bulk mailing, and all our strategies are around that area. Meaning you are sitting here and you want to send 10,000 emails, what you need to do, how you need to do. So that is what we are going to talk about. Some other facts: there are 3.9 billion email users. I'm talking about unique email users. 7 billion हमारा population है, मतलब almost 50% people are using emails. Hotmail, Gmail, Yahoo Mail are the top 3 inbox providers. Hotmail was the first one to give the free service, and after that, today Gmail is probably the most popular free inbox provider. 1.5 billion users hai, and you will be astonished to know the next fact, which is India. India ranks number 1 with highest number of Gmail users. We are very, very comfortable using Gmail, using Google search, using Google Analytics. हमको शायद से Google search के अलावा कोई और search engine भी नहीं मालूम है, right? I don't know if you've heard of Bing, DuckDuckGo, all of those are actually other search engines. But yes, we are so conversant and so used to with all Google products that Gmail is one of the number 1 service providers for India. On an average, each person has more than 1 account. So this is another important fact that you all have to understand. Even me, I have like 4 Gmail accounts for different purposes, of course. And similarly, there are people who use one particular account only for their personal transactions, one account which is only for their business transactions, or maybe their banking or customer interactions and stuff like that. So on an average, there are about 5.6 billion internet email users, email accounts. So 3.9 figure is unique, and 5.6 is what I'm talking about, 2019, 2018-19 के figures. We are expecting it to grow every year because अब हर छोटा बच्चा भी हमारा email account. My son is 8-year-old and he also has email account, and he keeps sending me emails. Hi mama, how are you doing? How's your session going? So you see, even the small kid also has an email account. A school communication, whenever your child gets an admission in a school, immediately the school is going to create an email account, which is very, very common for all the metros. आप लोगों के बच्चे अगर दिल्ली, पुणे, मुंबई, बैंगलोर जैसी जगह पढ़ रहे होंगे, तो you might have seen that school has already given an email account to you, right? Already given email account to your kids. So email is like one of the most important communication media going ahead. Let's understand that email is important. Okay, why we need to use it as a marketing channel? Why we don't want to print pamphlets and distribute it with our newspapers? Why not Facebook advertisements? Why not Google advertisements? Or why not search engine optimization? So when I talk about all of these platforms, you can do everything, and everything works in conjecture. It's not that you can isolate one digital platform from another. You have to all combine it together and make it work for you. So, but why we are saying that email is so important? Let's understand. If we are talking about digital assets, you have real estate properties like company है, company की building है, company का security guard है, company की van है. Company की van हर एक बंदा use कर सकता है. Company की building हर एक बंदा use कर सकता है. Security guard provides security and access control to everybody. But your email is your own, your desk is your own property in that entire real estate of your company. Similarly, अगर मैं digital real estate की बात करूं, तो कंपनी के रियल एस्टेट्स क्या है? कंपनी का रियल एस्टेट है उसकी वेबसाइट, कंपनी का रियल एस्टेट है उसका फेसबुक पेज, लिंक्डइन पेज और अदर सच एरियाज, उसका प्रोली एक कस्टमर लॉगिन है, एक सप्लायर लॉगिन है, सो दी और फोरम है, सप्लायर फोरम है, कस्टमर फोरम है. ये सारा जो है वो डिजिटल रियल एस्टेट बोला जाता है. इट इज कॉल्ड डिजिटल रियल एस्टेट. इन डिजिटल रियल एस्टेट योर ईमेल एड्रेस बिलोंग्स टू ओनली यू, right? You do not share your email address with anyone, which means it is one-on-one communication. It is somebody, some human is interacting with you sitting on the other end, right? So this is something which you cannot replace. You can probably pass on your desk phone to somebody, but your email account, you don't really give access to anyone else. It is one of the most preferred media today. अगर हमको ROI कैलकुलेट करना है, ROI मीनिंग रिटर्न ऑन इन्वेस्टमेंट, हम कितना पैसा लगाते हैं और उसके बदले में हमको आगे बिजनेस कितना मिलने वाला है. So today, a lot of statistics say that email marketing has the highest measurable ROI, highest measurable impact on your revenue. So a company always allocates some X percentage of its budget for marketing efforts, right? In that X amount, the marketers sit together and decide कि हमको एक event में participate करना है, we will spend X by 50 on that. हम लोगों को हर महीने एक मैगजीन में एडवर्टीजमेंट देना, we will spend X by 10 on that, right? वैसे ही अगर हम लोगों को ईमेल मार्केटिंग पे कितना स्पेंड करना है ये कैलकुलेट करें और उसके बदले में रिटर्न्स क्या आ रहा है ये कैलकुलेट करें, सो ईमेल स्टैंड्स नंबर 1. इट इज द मोस्ट प्रेफर्ड मीडिया ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन. जस्ट इमेजिन यू गेट अ कॉल फ्रॉम अ कंसल्टिंग फर्म, अ हाई एंड रिक्रूटमेंट फर्म. वो बोल रहे हैं कि हाँ आपका सीवी हमको यहाँ मिला है, यू आर सिलेक्टेड, कैन यू टेल मी व्हाट इज योर करंट सीटीसी, or can you tell me what is your PAN card number? Would you be comfortable sharing it on the phone? Of course not. What do you say? You send me all the details on email, let me look into it and get back to you. Once you get the email, by natural instinct, what you check first कि ये जेनेरिक अकाउंट से आ रहा है, मतलब जीमेल, हॉटमेल, याहू से आ रहा है, या ये कोई कंपनी स्पेसिफिक ईमेल अकाउंट से आ रहा है, मतलब hr@infosys.com या hr@intel.com. So that intel.com or infosys.com, which is the domain of your email, helps to authenticate or validate who's the sender. जब आपका वैलिडेशन प्रोसेस खत्म हो गया, मतलब आप निश्चिंत हो गए कि ठीक है ये मेरे को नोन एंटिटी है, नोन पर्सन है, तब आप बहुत कंफर्टेबल होते हो बाकी की इंफॉर्मेशन शेयर करने. वो अलग बात है, इंडिया में हम जब कस्टमर को मेल भेजते हैं, प्रपोजल भेजो या इनवॉइस भेजो, आपको फोन करके याद दिलाना पड़ता है कि बस मैंने मेल भेजी है, पढ़ लेना. But we are not going into that. We are talking about marketing. We are talking about mass mailing. So you cannot really sit and keep calling hundreds and thousands of people, right? So email becomes one of the most preferred media of communication. Even if you give your quotation on WhatsApp or quotation on phone, still a record of your communication or record of your conversation stays in your email. And you would say कि quotation पहले एक बार email पे भेज देना जरूर. Why? Because email stays in your account. It doesn't get deleted, unlike your Facebook ads or Google ads. आज अगर मैं water purifier search कर रही हूँ, google.com पे जाकर water purifier search कर रही हूँ, और अगर मैं NDTV Times पढ़ रही हूँ तो मुझे water purifier दिखता है साइड में कहीं पे. मैं फेसबुक के न्यूज फीड्स में जाती हूँ, मुझे फेसबुक में भी वाटर प्यूरिफायर दिखता है. फेसबुक को कैसे पता चला कि मैं वाटर प्यूरिफायर सर्च कर रही हूँ? सो देयर आर डिफरेंट एल्गोरिथम्स दैट वर्क टू ट्रैक दैट. सो टुमारो इफ आई एम ट्राइंग टू सर्च फॉर कुर्ती फॉर ऑफिस वेयर, नेक्स्ट डे आई सी फेसबुक में कुर्तीज कमिंग इनटू माय फेसबुक न्यूज फीड्स, right? So Facebook ads, you cannot really go back and say that show me the same ad, I probably missed that ad. But your email stays in the inbox of the recipient. आप अगर उनको कूपन भेज रहे हो, चाहे वो आज ओपन करे, चाहे वो एक हफ्ते बाद ओपन करे, ईमेल वहीं पे रहेगा, रेसिपिएंट के इनबॉक्स में ईमेल रहेगा. ऑफ कोर्स देयर आर डिफरेंट एल्गोरिथम्स एंड डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ टेक्निक्स जहां से हम वो ईमेल को हटा सकते हैं in certain period of time. We are not going to go into those technical details. That is a possibility, but on an average, in general, emails once delivered don't get deleted जब तक के recipient उसको खुद delete नहीं करता है, right? So अगर मैं make my get 30% discount for Bangalore to Mumbai flight, अगर मैं आज नहीं उसको यूज कर रही हूँ, तो जब मुझे जाना है, मैं पहले क्या चेक करती हूँ, प्रमोशन टैब में मेक माई ट्रिप या क्लियर ट्रिप का कोई भी कूपन कोड है जो वैलिड है, जो मैं आज अप्लाई कर सकती हूँ. सो व्हाट वी डू इज वी गो बैक, revisit that email whenever time needs, whenever we need that, right? So email becomes one of the most preferred media, and that's the reason why we are talking about marketing through emails. Prospects, consider एक sales का बंदा क्या कितना उसकी capacity कितनी होगी, मतलब when you want to talk about meeting people, maybe 10 people in a day, 5 people in a day, how many people can that person meet? If you are organizing a seminar where you are inviting 200 people, maybe 200 people in a day, where also he cannot have conversations. How many phone calls can your telecalling team make? Of course, there is physical limitation. You can probably make 10 calls, 10,000 calls, depending on how big your team is, right? Email marketing, you want to inform about a 24-hour sale, you really don't have to go through all this. 24-hour sale, एक email बनाओ, list upload करो, click करो, and email is gone. right? That is how big billion sale and Flipkart and Amazon and eBay, all of those guys communicate with their lakhs and lakhs of customers, because it's just a click away. You are in constant contact with your customer, informing the customers about your products and services every day. तो अगर कुछ नया आता है तो बस आपको ड्राफ्ट करना है और उन्हीं कस्टमर्स को वापस से आपको मेल भेजनी है. So it's just the matter of half an hour, 45 minutes, depending on your capability and where you are in your email marketing, right? Let's understand the other aspect. It's measurable. So like any other digital platform, email marketing can also be measured. How many people really received your email? How many people clicked on that email or opened that email? In fact, how many people reported you as a spammer? सही, मतलब ऐसे कंसिडर कर लीजिए कि आपको वो बंदा पसंद नहीं है, वो कंटिन्यूस आपको मेल्स भेज रहा है. You report him spammer because of some anger, right? So that also can be tracked. Abuse can be tracked, report deletes can be tracked, and report spam can also be tracked. So when something is trackable and measurable, it becomes much easy for us to calculate our investment कि हमको सही में फायदा हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा है. So to summarize approach, everybody understood that. Most preferred medium of communication. Attractive creatives can lead to higher conversions. जितना आप creative हो, जितना informative हो, आपके conversion rates बढ़ेंगे. Direct percent as per as KPMG's report, meaning the conversion rate, the response rate for mailing is 40%. मतलब इतना result आ ही जाता है कैसे ना तैसे. Automation is possible, meaning you can set automatic replies and automatic. So during our remaining presentation, I'll be talking more about it. Personalization is possible. Tracking and measurable ROI, meaning ROI हम calculate कर सकते हैं कि हमने अगर 50,000 रुपए 50,000, sorry, to be a very big number for small scale, maybe 5,000 we have invested in getting our login and subscriber list uploaded for email marketing, maybe 10,000 for content creation. Then how much business are we generating out of it? You can actually track that. How many people really respond, right? And re-engagement with cold and inactive members is also possible. If you have records of your inactive or old customers, you can tell them, hey guys, we are missing you. आप अभी तक हम मतलब we have some new product range, why don't you come to our shop and try it out, right? So you can actually get into a re-engagement kind of campaign to reactivate those accounts and get more business out of it. But doing email marketing is not as simple as it seems. मैंने आपको बताया कि 45 मिनट्स में आप ईमेल क्रिएट करो और 10 लाख लोगों को भेज दो. हकीकत में वो उतना इजी नहीं है. मतलब you have to consider a lot of ifs and buts so that your success rate is higher. Let's understand all of these aspects to have effective communication. How do you build your effective marketing communication? So for that, you have to first understand that there are 4 essential components that you need. First and foremost is goal. आप email marketing करना क्यों चाहते हो? आपको वेबसाइट की ट्रैफिक बढ़ानी है ताकि आपका सर्च इंजन ऑप्टिमाइजेशन में उसको काम आए. आपको आपके YouTube के सब्सक्राइबर्स बढ़ाने, नंबर ऑफ व्यूज बढ़ाने हैं. आपको आपका प्रोडक्ट सेल करना है. आपको इवेंट के लिए रजिस्ट्रेशन लाना है. What is your goal? आपको सिर्फ ब्रांड अवेयरनेस बढ़ानी है, आपको लॉयल्टी बढ़ानी है. क्या करना है? What is your objective should be very clear, and you should have a objective which is only one for one particular campaign. You cannot say, of course it has a lot of secondary objectives, but your primary objective should be very clear and crisp कि मुझे ये वाले ईमेल से XYZ प्रोडक्ट प्रमोट करना है, मुझे ये वाले ईमेल से मेरा जो अपकमिंग प्रोजेक्ट है ठाणे में उसी को प्रमोट करना है, मुझे उसको बाकी के प्रोजेक्ट्स के बारे में अभी नहीं बताना है, right? So this is what you should be very clear about goal setting. So you should have a very clear and crisp goal. List. Of course, to start email marketing, you need a list. Cannot really do email marketing. For a Facebook promotion or Google promotion, you really don't need to have list of people who would go and see your ads, right? You can start deciding how. It's like a broadcast digital media, right? You just decide कि मुझे दिल्ली के लोगों को ये वाला ad दिखाना है. अगर वो बंदा दिल्ली में है तो वो उसको ad दिखते जाएगा कि dentist near me, or say upcoming projects near me, and you have put some building projects around you in that particular area, and it will keep showing. but it will show all the things which has the word project. You really don't know whether it's construction project, you really don't know whether it's social service project or CSR project, right? So it becomes very critical when you are playing around with these kind of keywords. So when I talk about email marketing, you start with list. When you say list, meaning you know that person is existing and email address is existing. अब आप उसको बंदे को कितना अच्छे से जानते हो नहीं जानते हो वो हम बाद में बात करेंगे. That is lead scoring. But lead meaning the first level of qualification is already done. You're not going and broadcasting media. You're not broadcasting like you मतलब शोले या पुरानी मूवीज में जैसे दिखाते थे कि एक बड़ा स्पीकर लेकर सुनो 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 गांव वालों ये होने वाला है या वी आर लुकिंग फॉर दिस पर्सन हु हैज कम फ्रॉम आउटसाइड, राइट? सो एवरी पर्सन इज टेकिंग दैट इन्फॉर्मेशन, बट एक्चुअली वो जो बंदा है जो बाहर के गांव से उनके गांव में आया है वो एक ही बंदा है. So you are not targeting that person, you are making a broadcast. So similarly, when you talk about social media, website, these are all general platforms which are for broadcast. When you talk about email, it is dedicated because first level of qualification is done. आपके पास में email address already है, वो बंदा मौजूद है, वो बंदा existing है. Content, we are going to talk a lot about content. Bear with me. How to write effective content, what components of content make email more readable and understandable, and then we will talk about tools. Goal. Ultimate goal यही है कि when I click on send, there should be a start of communication. The conversation has to begin between you and your recipient. Either वो उसको reply करे या उसके ऊपर click करे या कोई form fill up करे या मेरा YouTube का latest video check करे, right? So communication, the conversation has to begin with your contact, which is very, very important. So your ultimate goal is starting conversation. Of course, there is difference between goal and objective. So goal is to start a conversation, and objective that you're trying to achieve, get followers on your YouTube, get more, sell more products and stuff like that. So let's understand what a marketing funnel is. Many of you are to see if you are a manufacturer or something like that, you probably belong to a B2B kind of business model. But if you are a direct retailer, you are from a B2C kind of background. So email marketing strategies are effective for both cases. Many people might think कि यार email हमने सुना है कि B2B में ही काम करता है, but think about it. Myntra, Jabong, all of these guys sending you promotional emails and asking you to buy their products, right? Even Big Basket. This is all B2C where customer के साथ में interaction direct हो रहा है. When you talk about B2B marketing, B2B is basically business to business, जहाँ पे end consumer is not involved. Say Intel wants to sell a chip, मतलब Intel is just making the chip for the laptops, and उसका buyer होता है कौन? Dell और HP और Lenovo, जो Intel की chip use करके laptop बनाएगा. या auto spare parts. So auto spare parts का buyer कौन है? जो automotive OEM या ODM है, जो actually उसको use करके actual car बनाएगा या two wheeler बनाएगा या batteries, right? So maybe those are very specific areas where we call them as B2B. So we are selling, one business is selling to another business. In B2C, one business is selling to another customer. B2C is customer selling and मतलब end में customer, the end user is our customer. So email plays an important role in this funnel. Funnel मतलब कि आपके पास में 10,000 लोग हैं जो आपके बारे में जानते हैं और उसमें से 5,000 लोग हैं जो आपके चीजों में इंटरेस्टेड है, आपके प्रोडक्ट्स एंड सर्विसेज में. उसके बाद में उसमें से 100 लोग हैं जो सोच रहे हैं कि मैं श्वेता के साथ में जाऊं या XYZ के साथ में जाऊं, right? So they are making a choice between 1 and 2, and that is the point where you actually start making those offers and promotions and lead them to conversion. So this is called funnel effect. Everybody understands marketing funnel if you are from MBA marketing background. For people who don't know this, we usually call it IDA model: awareness, interest, decision and action. Meaning action लेने तक मतलब middle of the funnel से middle of the funnel, जहां से interest से action लेने तक, purchase decision लेने तक, emails plays wonder. अवेयरनेस स्टेज में जहाँ पे हम लोग लीड अक्वायर कर रहे हैं या कस्टमर एक्विजिशन हो रहा है, यहाँ पे आपका वेबसाइट, सोशल मीडिया एंड ब्रॉडकास्ट प्रमोशन एक्चुअली कम्स इनटू प्ले. So you make a very nice website, you make some good content for your social media posting, आपकी PR activities, events, आपके search ads, display ads, these all will create awareness about your brands and product, about your brand and product, sorry for the S. So after the awareness stage, say for example, let us take the example again of water purifier. I wanted to buy a water purifier. I go to Google search and start looking for water purifier. The moment I see an ad on that, I click on that ad. Google पे अगर ad आता है तो मैं उसके ऊपर click करती हूँ and it takes me to the page where it lists all the water purifier from Live Pure, and then there is a form which says that do you want us to give a demo, right? I fill up the form, which means I'm already considering it, right? I'm already considering a demo. I'm already at the bottom of the funnel. And then they start making me a proposal saying that आप इतने तारीख तक buy कर लो, आपको 10% discount मिलेगा. Or we have stock clearance sale for these are last year's model. Please make a purchase now, right? So those are the points, or those are the touch points where your email marketing becomes very very effective. Awareness stage में हम website, social media, advertisements, news, ये सारे channels use करते हैं, but middle of the funnel से bottom of the funnel तक हम लोग direct mailing communication use करते हैं, email marketing use करते हैं. All right, let's move to the flywheel strategy. Now flywheel is कि आपका अगर new customer है, आप उसको एक rotation में डाल देते हो. मतलब कि it's like a engine which keeps going on and on. It's like a wheel which keeps rotating. तो आप उनको attract करते हो through social media. Once he gets into this wheel, once he gets into this cycle, then you keep engaging them. आप उनको information देते रहो. Say I have a book to be launched, right? I first promote my book on email marketing strategies. I put it on social media and everywhere. Now the person is saying, hey, I would be interested, or he has already filled up the form where it says, so these are called lead generation forms. These lead generation forms can be embedded on your website or on social media page, or you can also run advertisements for those lead generations, right? So you float out those lead generation form and you capture email IDs, right? So you have attracted that pool of people who would probably wanting to buy your email marketing book, the email marketing tactics book, right? After that, every week you keep sending one tactic, and you have written a book. आप email में book नहीं भेज सकते हो, आप email में उसका सिर्फ snippet भेज रहे हो, like a trailer, right? You are just sending small crisp information which will make them read more about you, right? So customer engagement is increasing and increasing. Finally, when they make a purchase, then you still keep sending them tips. You still keep sending them some more blogs and articles. So what you're doing is you attracted the person, you engaged with the person, and now you are delighting the person, telling them you are the best customer I could ever have. When you say that you are the best customer I ever had, what you're doing is you're delighting the customer, and now they become the brand advocate. So इन द फनल स्ट्रेटेजी, आप एक बार कस्टमर बन जाता है, उसके बाद आप कुछ नहीं कर रहे थे, कस्टमर बन गया, सेल्स हो गया, कुछ नहीं, वो कस्टमर बनने का कोई फायदा नहीं हुआ अपार्ट फ्रॉम द सेल दैट हैपेंड. इन द फ्लाईव्हील स्ट्रेटेजी, what you're doing is you're making that customer your promoter, you're making that customer your marketer. Tell him to write a Google review about it, tell him to write. So today we are having this online session. Had it been like a face-to-face session, it would have been wonderful because I could have seen your expressions and understood what you think about me or my teaching, right? So now the only way that I have to get a feedback is ask you all to write a review about me on my social media pages. So if you like this, then please put a review on the social media pages of Shell Digital, and I would really appreciate that. So that feedback, you see how the feedback is working? It's delighting the customer and taking their reviews, because the ultimate selling point happens only when you have customer review. Again, going back to the example of water purifier, say I want to buy a water purifier. My first step is to search water purifier online. मैंने ऑनलाइन देख लिया, Amazon पे लिंक्स देख ली, रिलायंस डिजिटल पे देख लिया, क्रोमा में देख लिया, बिग बाजार भी वाटर प्यूरिफायर बेचता है, उसमें भी देख लिया. After selecting a few models, I actually make a physical visit. I go to the stores and see the models, because maybe I didn't understand कि 5 लीटर क्या होता है और 7 लीटर क्या होता है, एस्थेटिक्स नहीं समझा, मुझे ये पता नहीं चला कि उसका विड्थ कितना है, वो मेरे किचन में सूट करेगा कि नहीं करेगा. So what I do is I go and visit the store and I get a general idea कि okay, out of the 5 models which I've selected, these 3 looks little better. I'll do the price comparison and come back. When you come back home, what you do next is गूगल रिव्यूज पढ़ते हो. आप पढ़ते हो कि ओके ये वाला मॉडल जो है ये 10 लोगों ने लिया है, बल्कि द अदर वन मॉडल 200 लोगों ने लिया है. सो मे बी इफ पीपल मोर पीपल आर बाइंग दिस एंड द रिव्यू इज बेटर, आई वुड रादर गो विद द मोर कॉमन मॉडल, राइट. जिस जो 200 लोगों ने लिया वो वाला मैं मॉडल लूंगी, बिकॉज then I'm rest assured that everyone is liking that model and they have got good response with customer service, pricing and everything. So what is happening is that Google review helps me to make the final decision. That is what I'm talking about, brand advocacy. When you read those reviews, when you read about those people, then you again want to go and make a decision. So the flywheel strategy and the funnel strategy is applicable in different scenarios. Or it could happen that you use both the strategies together for your business. Now, again, it totally depends what kind of business you have. Are you selling a product which people buy every day? Like, for example, अगर मैं ऑनलाइन ग्रोसरी शॉप है जो लोग रोज बाय करते हैं, उस तरीके का प्रोडक्ट सेल कर रही हूँ, या मैं प्रॉपर्टी सेल कर रही हूँ जो लोग 10 साल में एक बार बाय करेंगे या 15 साल में एक बार बाय करेंगे. सो डिपेंडिंग ऑन दैट योर स्ट्रेटजी विल वेरी, and where you introduce your email marketing plan varies. All right, let's move to another thing. Flywheel ho gaya. In either of the strategy, you'll have to use email to engage and delight your customers. And once the customers are happy, they become your promoters. They become your brand promoters. So now that you understood from the marketing funnel perspective or customer acquisition perspective what you need to do, let's go to second strategy, which is segmentation. As I said, segmentation is very, very important. There were some queries in the forms that you filled up ki I'm from pharma company, where email marketing can be used, right? So first you have to decide your goal कि आपको क्या करना है ईमेल मार्केटिंग के थ्रू, या आपको क्या अचीव करना है. आर यू अ डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर एंड हु वांट्स टू इन्फॉर्म ऑल द केमिस्ट शॉप दैट यू हैव न्यू products coming up, or you are having these supplies available right now, or you are wanting to send emails to your principals, meaning जो आपके vendors है, मतलब जहां से आप बाय कर रहे हो या जो आपके suppliers है उनके लिए मेल लिख रहे हो. So you have to understand कि who is your ideal customer. So segmentation strategy is very, very important. If you do not have segment correctly defined, then what will happen? Again, as I said, you will spend lot of money in writing and answering all the questions. अगर आपको डिसाइडेड है कि मुझे कुर्ती सेल करनी है बैंगलोर में क्योंकि मेरा बैंगलोर में बुटीक है, तो मैं बस बैंगलोर के ही लोगों को टारगेट करूंगी, बिकॉज आई एम नॉट सर्विसिंग अदर एरियाज, right? If I have a restaurant in Bangalore, I'm going to target only people in Bangalore because they are the ones who are going to frequently visit my restaurants. Even if I have database of Delhi, Bangalore, I will not send them emails about whatever new promotion or new cuisine that I have introduced, or a food festival which I'm starting. So depending on the segmentation strategy, the ROI can be effectively used, or your investment can be effectively decided. What is segmentation? Send the right message to the right person at the right time with right frequency. Each aspect is very, very important. You have to first decide what is the right message for that person, then who is the right person for you, right? मतलब अगर मैं कुछ courier service, just imagine, you know, you are traveling to foreign country and you gave your passport for some visa application. They stamp it and give it back to you, but when the passport arrives at home, it is going to be delivered only to you when you show your ID card. It doesn't get delivered to your watchman or the maid servant that you have, or even your family members. They ensure that you are there and they will hand it over to you only. What is happening? It's a very, very targeted approach, and which ensures that delivery is correct, right? Similarly, when I talk about email क्या होता है? email भी यही होता है, but digital format में. एक message है, एक envelope है, एक document है, but it's in a digital format. It has to convey the right message. It has to go to the right person at the right time. अगर रात को 2 बजे 3 बजे मेल आ रहा है और वो next day morning में देख रही हूँ और वो मतलब it gets lost between all the other emails that I have, more operational related emails, and I don't read those emails, then what will happen? The response will reduce. Right frequency. If I see like people sending too many emails about something, I really get bugged, because we are now targeting the generation X and generation Y. Generation X and generation Y do not want information which is not meant for them. And if you bug them, they'll be like, मतलब आजकल तो बच्चे भी बोल देते मम्मा आप ज्यादा बार मत बोलो, right? They are like, you give me the information which is needed and only once. Don't tell me twice or thrice. Similarly, we are targeting these people who are your future buyers, who are your future customers. So don't bug them with too many emails. ठीक है, मैंने अभी नया email marketing सीखा है, so let me start sending email every day. That is not done. That is just not good idea. All right. So right frequency is very very important. Again, right frequency क्या है? ये डिपेंड करता है कि आपकी ईमेल मार्केटिंग स्ट्रेटजी क्या है और आपके प्रोडक्ट्स और सर्विसेज क्या है. कुर्ता बेच रहे हो, शायद आपको हर ओकेजन पे ईमेल भेजना पड़ेगा. प्रॉपर्टी बेच रहे हो तो डिपेंड करेगा कि कब भेजना है, राइट? 77% of email marketing ROI came from segmented, targeted and triggered campaigns. If it is segmented, targeted, triggered, meaning सारी चीजों का हमने अगर ध्यान रखा है तो हमारा ROI improve होता है. मतलब हम लोगों को कम पैसों में ज्यादा रिजल्ट्स मिलेंगे. टू एस्पेक्ट्स ऑफ सेगमेंटेशन. मतलब आप सेगमेंटेशन डिसाइड कैसे करोगे? पहली बात होती है कि बायर्स पर्सोना समझना जरूरी है. व्हाट इज हाउ योर आइडियल बायर विल लुक लाइक, depending on the age, depending on the gender, depending on the location, interest, job function. So you are organizing a CXO level conference, then you don't want to send emails to dentist, you don't want to send email to orthopedic surgeon, right? Your conference is for the companies, corporate CXO people, the CEO, the CMO, that kind of conference you're doing. So you know what the job function is and you would target only those people, right? So buyer's persona, ideal buyer कैसा होगा, ये आपको समझना बहुत जरूरी है. This is one of the aspects which will help you not just in email marketing but understanding your overall business plan also. If you don't know your ideal buyer, then you kind of don't have a concrete plan for your businesses. Second aspect of segmentation is understanding at which stage the buyer is. Is the buyer at awareness stage? मतलब ये अभी तक मेरे product और services के बारे में कुछ नहीं जानता है and I have to educate him, or he is already at a consideration stage, मतलब कि he is already filled up a form and demo मांग रहा है, right? So you have to understand at which stage that buyer is, and depending on that, have that segment created and send your marketing email, right? So let me give you some examples. Say I am interested in marathon because I participated in so many marathon runs. Then people, all of marathon organizers already know that I'm interested in marathon because I kept searching, I filled up some forms, right? So they already have my email address. They will keep sending me email for any new run happening in the city, just like this kind of campaign you see here on the right hand side. Run for this beautiful whatever. So this is from NEB Sports. It's an email campaign which is coming to me because I am a marathon runner. It will not go to the person who's not interested in marathon because he never filled up any form for marathon, right? And it has to not go. If it is going to that kind of person, it means you've not segmented by interest correctly. So interest based targeting, when the person is interested in that kind of products or services. I have recently moved to New York and I don't use sari or kurti anymore. And you still keep sending emails, meaning you have not selected the target audience. You have not clearly mentioned that people residing only in India because this is online sale only in India. Or you have not targeted that it is only for Bangalore because the boutique is only in Bangalore. So people, when they receive such kind of emails, they get really bugged and the engagement falls down. Your engagement with the email is very important. If people are not interacting with your email, your domain reputation is going down. If your domain reputation goes down, then slowly your emails get into the spam folder. We are going to talk about spam alerts in a while. So this is what happens when, so you have to ensure that people are interested in your products and services and they will interact or engage with your emails. I have added my to my cart, but I have not made a purchase. So you will get this kind of emails, which is called shopping cart abandonment email, wherein it's a standard template. What does it show? It shows that there is a nerf gun which was added by my son, but I have not made any payment to this. Right? It tells me that there is a great stuff in the shopping bag. Don't wait too long. Complete your order now. Our popular products go fast. So of course this is a marketing pitch, right? ये मुझे बेचना चाह रहा है, क्लियर है? अब ये वाला ईमेल अगर सिद्धेश जी को जाता है एंड सिद्धेश जी के कार्ट में मोबाइल फोन है तो उनको यहाँ पे मोबाइल फोन दिखेगा, right? So the template remains the same. The content placement is dynamic, right? Depending on what the value of cart is, the content will change. It will remain exactly the same. बाकी का सारा same रहेगा. So these kind of emails are sent out or are triggered when the cart value is not empty, right? So you are triggering that email at a particular step in the journey of a buyer, right? So this is very important because यहाँ पे आप क्या कर रहे हो, आप उसको push कर रहे हो complete करने के लिए और आपका sale और conversion complete करने के लिए. Why is contact management or segmentation so important? Because you are talking to real people, and if you do not provide value, if you do not provide information of value to them, then they will not return the same benefit or they will not return back to you, right? In return, these people help you grow your business by either buying your product or forwarding your information to another person who would be interested in your products. So segmentation is very important part of contact management. अगर आप segment नहीं करते हो और सारी information सभी लोगों को भेजते हो, then the success rate is low or success rate is poor. How to do segmentation? और what exactly do you mean by segmentation? It means कि आपका audience set बिल्कुल बड़ा है, आपकी एक list है 10,000 लोगों की, आप इसी को छोटे छोटे ग्रुप्स में डिवाइड करते हो डिपेंडिंग ऑन सम सिमिलैरिटीज कि ठीक है ये सारे लोग मुंबई में रहते हैं और ये सारे बैंगलोर में रहते हैं, तो जब मैं वेबिनार मुंबई जब मैं सेमिनार मुंबई के कोई होटल में करूंगी, आई एम गोइंग टू सेंड एन ईमेल ओनली टू दीज पीपल. Whenever I'm doing a seminar in Bangalore, I'll send email to only these people. However, my contact base has people all over India, rather all over the world. So depending on what I'm trying to sell, I have to segment it, right? If I'm doing a online webinar, maybe I should be sending email to everyone. Okay, so this is how the segmentation strategy works. For your products, if it is a retail company, what kind of products you have, where you want to sell it, what kind of similarity, matlab ke it is only for females of the age group of 25 to 35, then maybe you want to sell it to them. Or say there is a workshop happening only for students of 10th and 12th standard, so uska target kaun hoga? Not just the 10th and 12th standard people, but their parents, right? If there is a workshop happening, it's the parents whom you want to target. So you have to understand who's your target audience and you have to segment it based on what you're trying to sell. So when contact into smaller groups based on similarities. Keep this in mind, similarities is important. You can tailor your message to be more relevant and engaging to those people. Okay, so you have to segment based on similarities, या तो age, या तो interest, या तो location, based on that. अभी मेरा last जो example था, this was based on the similarity कि cart में कुछ तो add किया था but buy नहीं किया था, right? So this was the example where the buyer's journey decision point is similar. In this example, it is location is similar, right? So based on similarity, you have to group them and then only send your marketing emails. I hope all okay so far. If I'm going too fast, Siddesh ji, just prompt and let me know.
Shweta ji, what you do is you can just interact with the audience with the chat box. So if you want to see if the audience they are on the same page or not, they can mention yes or no.
Okay, I think then we'll just disturb the flow and people are going people are asking about corporate sales, marketing automation, all of those tools for database. So I think we'll just continue with the presentation. हम लोग आप questions मुझे बाद में end में पूछ लीजिएगा.
Sure.
Yeah, because the questions are going in all directions apart from the flow.
Yes, so I have noted down the questions, so we will take it in the end.
Sure, no problem. So 3 best practices of segmentation is you should have clean and organized database. There are people who leave the organization and move to another organization, like Shweta at the rate of abc.com, and Shweta has now moved to xyz.com. So Shweta at the rate of xyz.com. So Shweta at abc.com can probably be still in your list, but abc.com से वो चली गई है, so that email is not a serviceable email address. So it is very important that you keep your database very clean. Keep on checking which are the emails which are bouncing back because of certain reasons, and keep it very clean and organized so that the results are better. Keep collecting information. So whenever you are running a campaign, and if it is an existing customer or whatever, you should always give the option of update my profile. So update my profile में क्या होगा कि अगर उसका last name change हो गया, अगर उसका phone number change हो गया, so that person has the ability to go back and make those changes in his or her record. Understand the implicit and explicit data. So what is explicit data? So the data which I capture explicitly from my customer, कि customer का email address है, customer का phone number है, उसका location है, so those are all explicit data points. But अगर customer ने buy किया है नहीं किया है, customer ने मेरे website का एक particular blog read किया है और नहीं किया है, so that is customer behavior. So implicit data is customer behavior tracking. Explicit data is the data which customer shares intentionally with you. Okay, so these are the best practices for having a successful segmentation of your marketing campaign. Let's move to the next strategy, which is content strategy. How do you write high performing emails? So for writing high performing emails, there are 2 aspects. One is setting up the right goal. अगर आपको goal पता है, आपका objective क्या है email लिखने का वो पता है, then no problem. And then optimize each part of your email so that the conversion is higher. What are different parts of email? Your from name, from email address, subject line, pretext line, content, text, images, footer of the information. All of those are different parts of your email, right? हर part को आपको optimize करना पड़ेगा ताकि आपका conversion high हो. How do you decide what is the right goal? You have to answer these 5 questions. Who is the target audience? What are you trying to sell? Or when is that sell happening, or when that person has to buy? Where is that happening? And why that person should be buying your products or services? Once you answer these 5 questions, or any of these questions related to your objective, then you are almost at the SMART goal. You've almost set a SMART goal. Of course, there are scenarios where you will not have answers to all 5 questions. That is perfectly all right. But at least you should know what you're looking for, right? What you're trying to send. उसके basis पे आप आपका email campaign design करोगे. Now let's understand, if someone doesn't know why you're sending an email and it won't add value to those contacts, it will not drive the results as per your wish, right? They will not interact with your email. अगर मैं email भेजती हूँ कि webinar होने वाला है और webinar होने वाला है और webinar की कोई details नहीं देती हूँ, then it is incomplete, right? People will not interact. There would not be any engagement. So what are the content designing objectives? The objectives can be driving traffic to your website, having YouTube channel, event registration. So I already covered all of those things. Certain other things, customer loyalty. So you might have seen those emails coming from Marriott rewards points, SPG, or your Make My Trip reward points, which tell you the membership updates and what are the other benefits of that membership status. So this is customer loyalty is another important email that comes from most of the big brands. Brand awareness. So your brand won some award. You want to just send it to the customers saying that, hey, my brand won top 5 highest performing award, or Frost & Sullivan best company award, or something like that. So what is happening? You are giving a pat on your own back, but you are making customer feel nice that, yeah, you are associated with such kind of brand, right? The feeling of owning a Mercedes or BMW is because people are all involved when they say that, oh, you have a Mercedes or BMW, because those are some of the premium products, right? So when you talk about brand awareness or brand trust, these are the information which you should be sending to your customers and informing them about. Information about your recent transactions, like Ola, you completed a trip, you get the start point and the end point. So somebody asked me about marketing automation. So these are some of the automation subjects when the email gets triggered when a condition is met. The condition met is okay, Ola trip is done, and the receipt is generated and the payment is done. So that email gets triggered, putting in all those values, right? So that is called marketing automation. Or say you add a new person to your database and that person gets a welcome email. So that is called marketing automation. I have some examples in further presentation. So just bear with me for that. So optimizing each part of your email. So conversion definition is different for each company. किसी के लिए conversion होगा कि product buy कर लो, किसी के लिए conversion होगा कि YouTube का video view कर लो, किसी के लिए conversion होगा कि registration करके payment कर दो, right? So conversion is definition of a desired action, and that desired action will be different for each company. Just click may not be the conversion, but clicking and filling up the form may be a conversion, right? So the definition change, the conversion point changes for each company in each campaign, right? So what we have to say is conversion is nothing but a desired action. So there are two key actions or two key points that we have to keep in mind when we talk about email conversion. एक तो पहले open करना चाहिए लोगों ने email, right? अगर open ही नहीं करेंगे तो बाकी का बात आप भूल जाओ. ओपन करने के लिए उसको पहले क्या दिखता है स्क्रीन पे? पहले तो नाम दिखता है, फ्रॉम ईमेल एड्रेस दिखता है और सब्जेक्ट लाइन दिखता है, राइट? और उसके बाद लोगों ने ईमेल खोलने के बाद दे शुड बी क्लिकिंग ऑन द ईमेल, राइट? आपका जो भी कॉल टू एक्शन है, अगर आपका कॉल टू एक्शन है कि ठीक है मेरा लेटेस्ट ब्लॉग है, आप उसको पढ़ो, तो दैट पीपल शुड बी डूइंग. सो क्लिकिंग इज द सेकंड पॉइंट. Those 2 points are the ones which we have to optimize in our content design. So I have some of the best practices listed here. I'll walk you through this. Again, the strategy, the planning will change depending on the industry segment, but just keep an eye and just check all of these. So to open a particular email, the subject line is the key. अगर आपका subject line attractive नहीं है, तो email कोई नहीं खोलेगा. Say for example, if I want to say that webinar on email marketing 25th April or 25th May 2020 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Very simple and straightforward message, right? It is a very generic message. If I say webinar by Shweta, तो Shweta becomes very specific. अगर मैं उतनी पॉपुलर अगर होती तो आपका ध्यान पहले. अगर webinar by अमिताभ बच्चन, so your attention goes to that word अमिताभ बच्चन, right? Or only Jito member information or webinar only for Jito member, then again it becomes very, very targeted. So you understand what is happening. The first was very generic for everyone, informative and generic. It had specific information that 25th ko ho raha hai. Let me give you a worst example. Webinar on email marketing, that's all. उसमें क्या हो रहा है, लोगों को ना समझ रहा है कि कब हो रहा है, ना समझ रहा है कि कौन करवा रहा है, right? So the conversion will be lowest when it happens because दुनिया भर के mails अभी तो मतलब lockdown में you might have seen so many people sending emails on this. So when you have specific information, you have popular information, and you have personalized information. If I say, hey Shweta, don't miss the webinar, so you can actually have that hey Shweta also in your email. Subject line को भी आप customize कर सकते हो. So that Shweta, the moment it says hey Shweta in the email subject line, it grabs my eyes, it grabs my attention, right? कि मेरा नाम है मतलब मुझे कुछ मेरे लिए directly कुछ लिखा हुआ है, right? So you have to understand what should be a subject line and how should it look. Now people open their email on mobile phone as well as on your desktop. They can have access to their emails everywhere. We are all on multi-platform or multi-digital screen model, right? So what is ideal way of subject line? These are some of the technical things that you have to keep in mind. Again, these are just thumb rules. These are just guidelines. If you write something more than 60 characters, that does not mean it is going to go in spam and people will not read it. Okay, these are just the guidelines which makes you write an effective effective subject line. So what does the guideline say? 50 to 60 characters, which means about 9 words. So 9 words में आपका subject खत्म हो जाना चाहिए. so that it is visible properly on your mobile screen as well as on your laptop screen. Laptop screen में 100% पूरा दिख जाता है, mobile में 35 to 40 characters visible होते हैं depending on the screen size and format that you have set your mobile email client. Use less punctuations. So the moment I see star, 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 dollar, 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 sale, sale, sale with thousands of exclamations next to it, what will happen? The email recipient, I'm not talking about a person, I'm talking about the software like Gmail, for example. So Gmail will think कि boss ये तो readable नहीं है, तो readable नहीं है अगर if the software is not able to read it, then the software tends to put it in your spam folder. If you have abusive words, any word which is saying that pay money, payment, dollar sign, win cash, win lottery, those kind of words which you use, which has a lot of punctuation and which appear that it is not coming from a known source, or which appears as if it is a robotic generated. So there are spammers sitting all across the world who use robots to generate automatically emails and spam your inboxes, right? So the moment the receiver client, here in our case, if I'm talking about Gmail, so Gmail receiver will think that this is not coming from a legitimate source and it will put it in the spam folder. Capitalization. So you should be using first word or first alphabet as capital, and also have important words capitalized because that are eye catchy. If you put everything into a sentence case, then maybe it doesn't grab attention of the reader. So if I writing a great subject line, so great is the word which I could have probably highlighted. Or if I write G also small, S small and L small, then it doesn't create that kind of impact. So title case is something which is appreciated or becomes, but of course you shouldn't have like everything capital. That again becomes something which is robotic generated, and that also puts your email into the spam folder. It should be short and sweet. Of course, everybody wants something which is crisp and to the point. Specific information. So try to put specific information in your email or in the subject line. If you're offering 20% discount, you put that 20% discount in the subject line, right? If you are saying that discount is going to end on 12 o'clock, 25th May, put that in your subject line. So when you have that specific date or number or month or year in your subject line, then people tend to open it and read it. Because अगर मेरा पहला वाला example लेते हैं, webinar happening, then people are not going to open. But webinar happening 25th May, Monday, then people will think कि हाँ यार Monday suitable लग रहा है, available हूँ, open करता हूँ. Webinar by Shweta, 3 p.m. 25th May. You all know me because you heard about me from some of your friends. Then of course you would want to open that 100%. So the conversion becomes higher when you have specific details in the subject line. Personalized, as I said, if it is, hey Shweta, don't miss the webinar, it is going to grab the attention. Creative. Of course you can be creative, but इतना creative मत बनो कि लोगों को समझे नहीं. You don't want to be a modern artist or abstract artist. You want to be a marketer for higher sales or higher conversion. So use creative subject line. मतलब I have seen some people use lot of filmy stuff and lot of emojis in their subject line जो लोगों को नहीं समझ आता है, और समझ नहीं आता तो वो open rate, engagement rate सब चला जाता है. मतलब everything goes for a toss. So you have to be creative, but at the same time you are marketing for selling your product, right? So you have to understand it has to be to the point. The conversion is still not complete yet. Why? Because लोगों ने अभी तक click नहीं किया है, लोगों ने अभी तक call to action नहीं लिया है, right? How we go about that? Let's understand that. Writing effective email copy. What is copy? Copy is something which is combination of the text and the images of your email, the template that you use, right? How do you write that so that it becomes effective? People want to read it. एक तो वो simple होना चाहिए, that always remains the bottom line. So inbound marketing strategy says when content marries context, like happily marries context, मतलब संदर्भ, मतलब reference अगर match कर रहा है, then the conversion is always higher. It is one of the most effective email strategies. So your context has to be very, very present. If you are saying that you want to sell webinar, मैं email में Nike sport shoes नहीं बेच सकती हूँ, right? Email also has to talk about webinar. As simple as that. ठीक है, ये बहुत वियर्ड एग्जाम्पल हो गया, बट अगर मैं ईमेल में वेबिनार लिखती हूँ और मैं उस ईमेल में वेबिनार के बारे में कुछ नहीं बोलती हूँ, सिर्फ ईमेल मार्केटिंग के बारे में बोलती हूँ, then that is also incorrect. That is also incorrect. So it is written in a very strategic manner. With that, I'm just going to give you, I'll just go back to my inbox. आज ही मुझे एक email आया था before I made this presentation. So this Swiggy email is saying tips on tipping. योर गाइड ऑन हाउ यू शुड टिप इनसाइड. ठीक है, तो टिप हम लोग जो स्विगी डिलीवरी बॉयज होते हैं उनको टिप्स देते हैं, राइट? कभी हम बचा हुआ कैश दे देते हैं, कभी हम एक्सक्लूसिवली निकाल कर पैसे देते हैं, राइट? सो इट्स जस्ट गिविंग अस इंफॉर्मेशन ऑन द टिप्स एंड इट इज नॉट आस्किंग अस. कहीं डायरेक्टली वो बोल नहीं रहा है कि आप डिलीवरी बॉयज को टिप्स दो, ये कहीं नहीं बोल रहा है, बट वो क्या कर रहा है, हमको बता रहा है कि हर कंट्री में टिप्स कैसे दिए जाते हैं. यूएसए में कैसे दिए जाते हैं, ऑस्ट्रेलिया में कैसे दिए जाते हैं, फ्रांस, जापान, यूनाइटेड, यूएई, रोम, यूके. इतना सब होने के बाद में वो मुझे बस ये बता रहा है स्क्रीनशॉट में कि आप आपके भी स्विगी गाय को टिप दे सकते हो, राइट? सो उसका ऑब्जेक्टिव है कि स्विगी गाय को टिप देना चाहते हो तो ऐप यूज करो और टिप दो. बट उसने क्या किया, मुझे सारा इंफॉर्मेशन ऑन टिप्स दिया. सो व्हाट हैज हैपेंड, टिप्स, आई वांट टू रीड अबाउट टिप्स, बट दिस बिकम्स वेरी एंगेजिंग बिकॉज आई वांट टू नो कि बाकी की कंट्रीज में टिप्स कैसे दिए जाते हैं, right? So these kind of content creation is very important. So you should go a little informative or educative about the subject, but don't go too far away. Don't go too far away. मतलब आप घुमा के उनको टू द पॉइंट लेकर आओ, घुमा के वो मुझे यहाँ पे लेकर आए कि ये ऐप से भी आप अभी डिलीवरी बॉय को टिप दे सकते हो, राइट? सो दिस बिकम्स वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट मैसेजिंग फैक्टर. So you have to understand this. अब आप length of email देखोगे तो this is pretty long email, which is not a very good practice. But the subject is so interesting that I have to go down because I'm reading everything, right? I have to go down till the conversion point. You understand this part? So this is how effective emails are written. So you have to educate your customers, but at the same time, don't go too far away from the subject. So context and content has to marry each other. इट हैज टू बी शॉर्ट एंड सिंपल. ना आप बुक लिख रहे हो, ना आप आपका कंपनी का ब्रोशर भेज रहे हो. सो मेक इट शॉर्ट एंड सिंपल कि एक ही स्क्रीन में बिना ज्यादा स्क्रॉल किए लोगों को समझ आ जाए आपकी बात. या इट हैज टू बी अ नाइस कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ ग्राफिक्स एंड टेक्स्ट सो दैट पीपल फील लाइक रीडिंग इट. People will not read too much of text on your email. People will definitely not read. ऊपर से स्कैन, हम लोग आजकल तो बुक भी नहीं पढ़ते हैं, राइट? वी ऑलवेज वांट पॉइंटर्स. पॉइंटर्स में अगर कुछ आ रहा है तो इट्स फास्ट एंड इजी फॉर अस टू रीड, राइट? सो यू शुड बी टू द पॉइंट एंड think about writing book, think about writing some technical specifications, and then you frame your short and simple sentences. Have a very clear call to action. So purpose or call to action of the primary goal should be same. मतलब अब स्विगी का अगर ईमेल में आपको फिर दिखाऊं तो उसका कॉल टू एक्शन यही था कि एक्शन मुझे स्विगी का डिलीवरी एजेंट जब आता है तब लेना है. वो मुझे ये नहीं बोल रहा है कि जाकर मेरा स्विगी पेज फॉलो करो और ट्विटर पे मेरा ट्वीट करो और फेसबुक पे जाकर मुझे लाइक करो, राइट? इट इज नॉट टेकिंग मी एल्सवेयर. It is giving me a very clear objective about information, and my call to action of course will be taken when I use it in the app. So you should have a very clear primary call to action and your goal towards that primary call to action. Don't mislead your contact with too many action items. Be creative, but don't confuse people. Now, your emails are written in HTML language. HTML language is possible. It's just the language in which you write your website or web pages, right? So it allows you to have a combination of images and text. Now, how much image you should have and how much text you should have, that is very critical factor to decide. There are some email strategies where your only text emails work wonders. Like say you have already decided a webinar and you just want to send a follow-up link कि boss आज 2 बजे webinar है, join जरूर करना, right? You're just sending a reminder. So your text only email works wonder. You don't have to give any image there. You don't have to give anything else there. It's only a text, right? If you write image only kind of email, then it triggers the spam filters. If I have to go back into my account and show you my spam folder, you see all the images will be blocked. You'll see that if I open this, there is an image which is blocked. There are other images which is blocked. Only the text is visible. Image is blocked, image is blocked, image is blocked, images are blocked. So only image type of content will definitely trigger into spam folder. Your only text, only image type of content don't work. So you might be thinking कि एक flyer मेरे डिजाइनर ने बनाकर दिया है, उसी flyer को मैं email में copy paste करके भेज देते हूँ. That is not a good practice. What you have to do is you have to identify that flyer का content into images. Image को अलग से upload कीजिए, text को अलग से upload कीजिए. Now text to image ratio, the ideal ratio is 60-40, meaning it should have minimum 60% of text and maximum image that you can have is 40%. Each image that you use total मिला के 40% of the total area. ठीक है? So image can be 40%. Text can be 60. It can be 70-30, but it cannot be 50-50, or it cannot be where you have only 20% text and rest all images, right? So this is one of the best practices so that your email doesn't go into the spam filter. Just keep this thing in mind that all the spam filters can read spam words, but they cannot read your image content. अगर न्यूडिटी की इमेज है या कोई इनअप्रोप्रिएट इमेज है तो वो इमेज वो रीड नहीं कर सकता है, वो सिर्फ कंटेक्स्ट रीड कर सकता है. मतलब आप टेक्स्ट फॉर्मेट में क्या क्या लिख रहे हो, आपने वो इमेज को नाम क्या दिया है, आपने इमेज का कैप्शन क्या दिया है. सो योर स्पैम फिल्टर्स, जैसे जीमेल क्लाइंट है, वो जीमेल कैन ओनली रीड दैट पार्ट, ओनली द टेक्स्ट पोर्शन. Images का it can read the size, it can read the format, it can read the caption that you have given for the image, but it cannot read what is the image. What is the image? It cannot have intelligence to decide what the image is all about. That's the reason why many a times you will see Outlook or corporate emails will block auto download of images. Auto download उनका बंद होता है तो आपको बिल्कुल सिर्फ टेक्स्ट दिखेगा. तो अगर आपका टेक्स्ट मीनिंगफुल नहीं है और आप प्रमोशनल ईमेल कर रहे हो, से वेबिनार ही प्रमोट कर रहे हो, और आपने सिर्फ मेरी फोटो और फोटो के अंदर ही आपने दिया है डेट और टाइम, so people will not know what that email is all about. So you add photograph as image and date and time you better give it in text. There has to be enough text to set the context of that email. Very simple thing. Recommended is 400 characters minimum. Image size should be optimized. If you have very large images, then also it gets triggered by spam filter. The guideline says every image should be 120 KB or less. So keep this in mind. Your emails are not meant for printing or printing pamphlets or for hoarders, right? For outdoor advertisements. They are only meant as an email to be read on either desktop, laptop or your mobile screen. तो आपको high resolution image की जरूरत ही नहीं है. So ideally, the length of every email campaign is 600 pixels. So if you see here, let me just open couple of emails, promotional emails. So if I were to open any of these emails, you see this length, this is only 600 pixel. If I open next one, this is only 600 pixel. You will not see that this is varying. So 600 to maximum 700 pixel is what the size is recommended. Your emails are all designed with this band, this width. तो उससे ज़्यादा की ज़रूरत ही नहीं है, तो आप उससे ज़्यादा क्यों भेजना चाह रहे हो? The moment you increase the size of your email, most of the tools will have the trigger which will say कि आपका image optimized नहीं है. Please use the tool to optimize the images. Okay, so just keep in mind that images 300-400 pixel is good enough, and size of the image has to be 120 KB or less. Total image ka portion has to be 40% or less. All right. Comply with the spam policies in the footer information. So we will talk about the spam policies, but what is the footer information? Footer information is nothing but which comes at the bottom of every email campaign. So if I were to open this email, whatever comes at the bottom is the footer. Right, I'll just open another one, Zomato. So whatever comes here only subscribe is there in the footer. If I were to open this one, what is there here? The Facebook, the Instagram page and the Twitter page, and all of this is nothing but the footer of your campaign. So footer में क्या information होना चाहिए is decided by the compliance or the spam policies. You have to comply with the spam policies so that your emails don't land into the spam folder. What is your ultimate objective? अल्टीमेट ऑब्जेक्टिव इज कि जब मैं पैकेट डिलीवर करूं तो वो श्वेता को ही मिले और ना ही श्वेता का सर्वेंट उसको रिसीव कर कहीं कोने में रख दे. right? So it is as good as your packet getting delivered to the spam folder, meaning it's not reaching the right folder, it is not reaching the inbox of the recipient. So that is very, very important aspect. Why emails land into the spam folder? There are many reasons. I have picked up some of the clips from my own spam folder, and you will see that user behavior is very, very important for emails to be identified as spammer. Of course, there are other things, meaning configuration setting, the domain that it is coming from, the IP address. So let's not get into the technical details. Let's understand from user perspective or user behavior what is important, right? So emails land into the spam folder because of many reasons. It says it is similar to the messages that were identified as spam in the past. So as a exercise after this webinar, I want you all to kindly go and check your Gmail spam folder and see why emails are landing into your spam. This will clarify a lot of things for you. Okay, let's see what is another reason. It is similar message which was used to steal personal information of the people. अगर Gmail का client ये detect करता है तो वो उसको spam folder में डाल देगा without even telling me. अगर ये मेरे known contact से भी आ रहा है, but if it has some hidden codes or something which will steal my information, Gmail is going to put it into the spam folder and not allow me to click on any of the links. This email, it is written in different language which is not typically used for writing emails. So maybe a language which is not understood by Gmail client, or when I'm saying client, it means the software, the Gmail software, the receiver software, okay? So the email client is not able to read it, and it says it's in a different language, that's why it's going into the spam folder. This message is spam because you blocked BSNL's care. So whenever you're blocking somebody or you're reporting them as a spammer, that email also goes into the spam folder. A lot of emails from this particular domain, amazonaws.com, were identified as spam in the past. That's the reason why this particular email is going into the past. And you see, there are several reasons. Many of the reasons are dependent on user behavior, whether you are the user or I am the user. अगर मैंने भी इसको रिपोर्ट स्पैम किया है और 10 लोगों ने और रिपोर्ट स्पैम किया है, तो सिद्धेश के इनबॉक्स में ये वाला स्पैम में ही जाएगा, बिकॉज द यूजर बिहेवियर सेज कि anything coming from amazonaws.com is going to go to the spam folder, right? So user behavior is very, very important. So when you are writing email, you ensure that you don't trigger that kind of user behavior. You don't give irrelevant information or inappropriate information or information which will hamper or make people uncomfortable. People will report you as a spammer, and then your reputation, your domain reputation, everything is gone. Avoid using spam trigger words. Now you might be wondering कि ये spam trigger word की dictionary कहाँ पे है? So there isn't any dictionary of spam trigger word, but the words which are frequently used by people who frequently used in the emails which are reported spam, मतलब कि ये सारा cumulative effect है कि मैंने भी कोई चीज को spam report किया है और 10 लोगों ने भी कोई चीज को spam report किया है, सारा एक साथ इकट्ठा करके जो इंफॉर्मेशन मिलता है उससे ये स्पैम ट्रिगर लिस्ट बनती है. There isn't any algorithm which says that ये ही स्पैम है और इसको आप यूज नहीं कर सकते. अब मतलब मेक मनी, दिस इज अ स्पैम ट्रिगर वर्ड, बट देयर कुड बी अ पॉसिबिलिटी कि मैं ईमेल फ्रेम ही नहीं कर पाऊँ विदाउट यूजिंग मेक मनी और अर्न मनी, right? There are offer, sale, click here probably is there in all of your emails. What you have to ensure is you are not using too many spam words. What you have to do is you have to ensure that you don't use too many spam words. You use limited spam words and don't appear spammy. मतलब कि to give you another example, say I am outside somewhere and I ordered pizza for my son. I tell, मैंने उसको एक चोर का एक हुलिया बता रखा है कि अगर कोई कैप लगाता है, अगर किसी के फेस पे मोल है और अगर वो ब्लैक कलर की शर्ट पहनता है, ब्लैक कलर की पैंट पहनता है, ब्लैक कलर की बूट्स पहनता है, तो वो थीफ है, दरवाजा मत खोलना, राइट? मैंने ऐसा बस एक हुलिया बता दिया है. नाउ आई ऑर्डर पिज्जा फॉर हिम फ्रॉम पिज्जा हट. Pizza Hut guy wears a black shirt. Pizza Hut guy wears a cap because he's delivering the pizza in the afternoon and it's hot, right? It's sunny. He's also wearing black pant and black boots. Coincidentally, he also has a mole on his face. So does my son say that इसके बाकी के parameters match कर रहे तो ये thief है? No. Why? Because there is something which doesn't make him look spammer because he is wearing that shirt with Pizza Hut logo on it. right? So this is how we identify. But आपका कंप्यूटर प्रोग्राम क्या चेक करने वाला है? कंप्यूटर प्रोग्राम बिल्कुल सिर्फ word to word check करने वाला है. It doesn't have that intelligence which my son will use to identify ये thief है कि Pizza Hut delivery boy है. So similarly, you have to ensure that on your recipient side, the computer is going to match only the words. It is going to match only the words. Too many words, trigger a spam filter. Less words, okay. Moderate words, create an alert for the sender, right? All of these points are done very, very technically by the algorithms, and you don't have to worry. Just ensure that you don't look spammy. Again, user engagement, as I said, user can engage with your email in any way that they want. Positive engagement ho sakta hai, negative engagement ho sakta hai. They can open your email, which is, so I have listed some positive engagements on my left side and some bad engagements on my right side. Of course, opening, clicking, replying, adding to the address book, moving it into the inbox, adding to the primary folder, marking them star, all of these are positive engagements. When user have positive engagement, it means your reputation is going to go higher. You as a sender have a reputation and it will go higher. Bad engagement, people not opening, deleting, spam, reporting the sender, blocking the sender just the way I did for BSNL. You know, it is all bad engagement and it will make your reputation go bad. Now that everything else is done, let's understand the email service providers. So why do you need a tool to send bulk emails? There are limitations with your Gmail account, with your inbox of Hotmail and Yahoo, which doesn't allow you to send more than 500 or 300 emails per day. Whether you send one email to 500 people or 5 emails to 100 people, doesn't matter. Maximum limit is only 500 emails per day. Then I have seen people making 10 Gmail accounts and her Gmail account se 500 mail bhej rahe, which is like really bad practice. You don't do that. Okay. So you have to use a tool to send and receive emails. Okay. Another thing, I want to put that into a perspective of courier service. I have a small office and I want to send one document from my office to the CA's office in the same town. What will I do? I'll have a runner boy. I will give him the packet. उसको मैं address बता दूंगी और बोलूंगी कि मिस्टर ABC को जाकर ये पैकेट दे दो. ऑफिस बॉय वापस आता है, मुझे पता चल जाता है कि ठीक है पैकेट डिलीवर हो गया है. What if I have to send 1,000 New Year diaries? Can I have the office boy do it for me? Of course not. What I have to do? I have to go to FedEx, give the list of the people or give the list of the customers to whom I want to give that 1,000 diaries. So what I do, I piggyback on some services called as FedEx service. Similarly, when you are having your emails, your corporate emails configured, you might be thinking कि मेरा ही mailbox use करके mail भेज देती हूँ, mail merge use करके भेज देती हूँ, right? But that is not a good practice because when you use your in-house resources, you might just exhaust the capacity. You might just exhaust the technical capacity of the servers. You do not want to do that. You are sending 5,000 and 10,000 emails, marketing promotional emails. So you can write back on a third party, which is meant to provide that kind of service. Secondly, you cannot track these emails that you send. However, when you go to FedEx, आपको delivery report हर डायरी की आ जाएगी, right? Similarly, when you send emails using third party software tools, you get a report saying कि कितने को deliver हुआ, किसने open किया, किसने open नहीं किया, all of those things. You rely on a third party tool to support bulk mailing services and you design one email, आप उसको customize कर सकते हो, personalize कर सकते हो. That's the reason why you use a bulk mailing service. Again, as I said at the starting of the seminar, that this is bulk mailing that we are talking about in the entire session. We are not talking about one-on-one emails. You can track these emails using all of these delivery tools. How do you select? You have to select the tool based on the features, the volume, the deliverability, meaning how many emails can that particular tool deliver? What has been the response ratio? What are the other clients talking about that particular tool? What are the reports saying? All of those things are very important. Cost is a very, very important factor. Whether it's giving us templates, is it easy to use? Can my subordinates use that tool and design good emails for me? All of those things are very important factors for deciding. And integration with other platforms. Now, when I talk about integration with other platforms, you might be using Salesforce, you might be using some other CRM to copy or to serve your customers. There could be another billing software that you might be using. You might be using a chat applet, right? All of those platforms can actually be integrated with your email provider, with your email tool. So कि अगर deliver हो गया है और receipt generate हो गई है, तो email भेजो कि thank you for using our services. So all of these integrations are possible. Your tools give you that integration free of cost at times. So you have to understand कि आपको कौन से integration की जरूरत है. Based on that, you will make a selection. So I've just shortlisted few of the tools. So when you are a beginner or a small business owner, you usually go for a free tool. Why? Because you want to experiment कि क्या आपके लिए काम करेगा. पहले तो email marketing आपके लिए काम करेगा कि नहीं करेगा. आपकी email strategies, are they aligned with your overall business goal or not, right? So you always start with a free tool to understand how it is doing for you, right? So these are some of the free tools which I have listed. Let me not read out the names, it is pretty clear. And when you view the recording or when you see it on YouTube again, you would know about it. There are some tools which are meant for specific application. For example, ConvertKit. So ConvertKit is best known for publishing applications. Like say for example, if I'm subscribed to ndtv.com, or if I'm subscribed to Economic Times brandequity.com, so I would get that normal everyday updates. So some of the tools do really well when you talk about certain industry areas, whereas some other tools are more affordable and meant for different types of business segments, right? So these are some of the lists which I've picked up from this particular blog. Again, as I said, that there are so many tools in the market, there are so many free tools. Every email marketing practitioner will have their own pet tool. They might not be an expert in everything, but more or less all the tools work in a similar fashion. If you're from an e-commerce background, you will probably use some other type of tool like Send and Blue, or Constant Contact is very good with Shopify and all. So depending on what your background is or what your service area is, you will decide which tool you want to go for. Now, there are enterprise platforms. I will not call them simply tools because they are actually platforms. मतलब उसमें एक tool नहीं, बहुत सारे tools are integrated together. So Eloqua is an Oracle product, Pardot is Salesforce product, Marketo is Adobe product. मतलब इनका data volume is like so huge that everything has to be in-house. So these are at these come at very large cost also. They are integrated platforms. They allow dynamic content, a lot of predictive analysis possible. You calculate lifetime value of the customers, very robust reporting matrix, all of those things. So if it is MSME or if it is SMEs, maybe these are not meant for you, but just to know and understand that enterprise level tools are highly integrated, supporting very huge amount of data and storage, right? They are very specific, used by bigger giants. Audience is ready, content is ready, tool is ready. What next? Let's understand, do you have permission to send emails? Do you have permission to send emails to all the people in your list? So there are two types of permissions, explicit permission and implicit permission. So explicit permission मतलब जब मैं checkbox में check करती हूँ और बोलती हूँ कि मुझे email भेजो, तब मुझे जब email आता है, that is explicit permission. Okay? Implicit permission मतलब मैंने आपको email ID दे दिया है and I'm not telling you send me email, right? But I have given you email ID, or I just enrolled for something and I have given you email ID. That is called implicit permission. मतलब आपके पास email address है तो आप उनको email कर सकते हो. So there are certain countries which decide whether they are into the explicit zone or implicit zone. Then there are non-subscribers. Non-subscribers मतलब कि आप सब्सक्राइब नहीं करते हो बिग बास्केट को कि मुझे हर ट्रांजैक्शन का ईमेल भेजो. When the delivery is out, when the order is accepted, when the payment is generated, when the order is delivered, I don't want those kind of emails, but I will get those emails. Banking sectors, right? I get emails that this much amount is deducted in your account. This is the summary of the account. All of those are non-subscriber types of email automations, right? Those get triggered when the payment is done, or when the amount of your, whenever there is a change in your account, they will send an email saying कि amount change हो गया है, इतना payment हो गया आपके account से, right? So those are non-subscriber type of email transactions. So understanding whether you belong to a country where permission is given or not given, your email marketing strategy is designed. अगर आप लोगों में से कोई यहाँ पे agency को belong करता है, so you might be serving clients outside India, then this becomes very critical part. So I'm just quickly going to tell you, 2003 में Can Spam Act आया था. Can Spam Act के 7 important thumb rules है. Don't use false or misleading subject information. Don't use header information, मतलब आपका from name, from email ID, subject, all of those things. Don't use false information there. Don't use deceptive subject line. Identify email as a ad. Tell recipients where you are physically located. ये आपके footer information में अगर आप कुछ promotion emails आपके check करोगे, आपको footer में दिखेगा. कोई client अगर आपका US based है, तो he will definitely follow this guideline and you'll have the physical location, मतलब कि postal address पूरा होगा footer information में. Tell recipients how to opt out. So it is mandatory to have an unsubscribe in all your marketing emails. If you do not have unsubscribe, a spam trigger is generated. Honor opt-out request. So you might be sending weekly emails on every Tuesday. पिछले वीक में जो मेल भेजी थी वो आज मंडे को मैं अगर अनसब्सक्राइब करती हूँ तो इमीडिएटली आई शुड बी अनसब्सक्राइब इन द लिस्ट और कल की ईमेल मुझे नहीं आनी चाहिए. It has to be that quick and your tools are ready to do that. You don't have to do it manually. All the things are done by your tools. So that is very, very important. You have to honor the opt-out request. Monitor what others are doing on your behalf. So I want to bring you to the case. US में एक केस हुआ था. KFC की एक ad में 5 chicken pieces थे एक flyer में. Old lady went to the KFC shop and she got only 4 chicken pieces. She sued the KFC and won 20 million rupees for misleading advertisement. Advertisement was designed by the ad agency. Maybe the creative guy thought कि 4 में खाली खाली लग रहा है, एक और डाल दूं. General thought process. But because of that, the consumer went back to the brand, said कि ये गलत information है, मुझे 5 की जगह 4 ही chicken pieces मिले, and they sued the brand. And you could probably search online for that case. KFC, old lady sues KFC. Very interesting article to read. So you have to monitor if you're hiring an agency, what your brand guidelines are. Is the agency complying with these policies? Is the agency complying with your brand guidelines? Is the agency using same tonality of your brand? Yeah, every brand has certain way of communicating with the customers. So agency क्या करता है ये आपको monitor करना है. अगर कुछ भी गलत होता है तो agency के साथ आपका both are legally responsible for anything going wrong. That was 2003. 2018 में GDPR was announced by European Commission. एक simple line बताऊंगी, इसमें explicit permission is only required. You cannot do email marketing in European country for European consumers even if you have email ID of that person. It says अगर आपके पास में written permission नहीं है, written consent नहीं है, you cannot send email. So if I'm sitting here, I have a client in London और London का client मुझे बोलता है कि मेरे database को email marketing करो, मैं नहीं कर सकती अगर मुझे उसका permission, उसने मुझे permission का proof नहीं दिया तो. Right? So that is the thing that you have to keep in mind. So that was May 2018. उसके बाद में California, the latest one, मतलब US में Can Spam Act is applicable, but only for California state. It announced Consumer Privacy Act in Jan 2020. So such kind of acts are there everywhere to protect personal data of people. Singapore PDPA Act is there, Australian Act is there, Canadian Spam Act is there. Let us look what we have in India. India has IT Act 2000, Information and Technology Act 2000, which is just talking about cybercrime and criminals. Most of the lawyers actually are not aware of this, and there are very few practitioners of IT Act or cyber law. Okay, just we are in a bad situation if we talk about such thing, because अब सब लोगों को digital का importance समझ गया है. अगर importance समझ गया है, तो also we know that everybody is going to use it. And usage बढ़ने के बाद में crime भी बढ़ सकता है, right? So when crime increases, then there has to be law which protects us. So these are some of the sections for cyber crime which can be reported in India. There isn't anything related to email marketing. 2000 में email इतना popular भी नहीं था, so this doesn't have any mention about email marketing. So no specific guidelines, so we assume that it's an implicit permission. अगर मेरे पास में आप लोगों का Gmail ID है तो मैं आप सब लोगों को email भेज सकती हूँ. So I just assume कि I can send you an email. So we are in an implicit permission zone where we can send emails to people, but we cannot hunt. So globally, if you consider, and best practices if you consider, then email harvesting or hunting for people's email addresses is is illegal. Now let's understand what types of email campaigns can you do. मतलब अगर आपको ये सब अभी तक समझ आ गया किसको करना है, कैसे करना है, strategy क्या है, let's look into some of the examples कि types of campaigns क्या-क्या है. So whenever a subscriber gets added to your database, you would probably want to send a welcome campaign. What is the objective of a welcome campaign? It's setting the expectation correct कि आप अभी मुझे आपका नाम हमारे database में add हो गया है. अब आपको हमारे पास से हर महीने ईमेल आएगा. We will ensure that we send you promotional emails and stuff like that. So you are just setting expectations correct about what this communication is all about. This can be automated. This can be automated. So whenever you add a new subscriber, that can get added to your list and the email will be sent to that person. It's kind of always on campaign. मतलब आज भी email, आज अगर कोई ऐड करता हूँ तो उसको भी email जा सकता है. And same email, if 10 days later someone else is added, उसको भी same email आएगा, welcome email. Newsletter campaign. So newsletter campaign is by the brands. इसका template fix होता है, frequency fix होती है. Monthly newsletter है, weekly है, quarterly है. So you might be getting monthly updates from your banks. You might be getting quarterly updates from your mutual funds. You might be getting updates from NDTV and Economic Times every day, right? So those are called newsletters. Every day they'll send you information. It has to be relevant and consistent with the brand. अगर आपका न्यूज़लेटर एवरीडे है, जैसे मैंने यहाँ पे सैंपल लगाया इकोनॉमिक टाइम्स का, so it is telling me कि एवरीडे उसने कौन से न्यूज़ आर्टिकल पोस्ट किए हैं. मॉर्निंग में when I check my emails, I'll just read and I'll decide कि किस पे मुझे क्लिक करके पूरा स्टोरी पढ़ना है. Re-engagement campaign. So you might have come across campaigns which says, hey, we are missing you. Why don't you buy new products? See, we have added some new things to our product range. So those are called as re-engagement kind of campaigns. They are created to reactivate your cold leads. So what is the user behavior you're going to track? Past 6 months, no purchase, trigger this campaign, right? So what you're doing, you're segmenting your audience, 6 months, no purchase, trigger this campaign. So you are establishing a reconnect, you are activating the cold lead, and you have some content which will make them buy from you. Shopping cart abandonment, I already explained this. This is a very typical type of campaign for most of the e-commerce shops where you add products. Many a times, lot of females will keep adding kurtis and purses and sandals to their cart and they'll not buy. And their emails get triggered to their husbands. Very common thing. But फिर भी उनको पता तो होता है कि यार cart में कुछ added है. So they just trigger the campaign and ensure that you make a purchase so that at least, if not 100%, 2000 का सामान नहीं, but at least 800 रुपए का सामान बेच सकते हो, right? So this kind of campaigns are generated for higher conversions. Seasonal campaign, Valentine's Day है, IPL match है, Eid है. Those kind of campaigns that are generated based on specific occasion. If you want to make the user feel better about that occasion, you add those. Those are common events for everyone. मतलब वो डेट स्पेसिफिक है ना. वैलेंटाइन डे है तो वो श्वेता का वैलेंटाइन डे अलग और XYZ का वैलेंटाइन डे अलग नहीं है. 14 Feb को वो सबको मिलेगा. So common thing is date trigger, right? So you are either upselling your thing, you're offering or promoting certain services. You delight your customer and make them feel special. Specific day campaign, which is like birthday. So if I get a campaign, if I get an email from Sheraton that, hey, happy birthday, Shweta, and get 20% discount on your dinner with us, then it is increasing the loyalty for that brand. जैसे ही मुझे Sheraton का mail आएगा, I'm going to go to Sheraton to have dinner because I have a mail from them, and then they will delight me with a free cake or something, right? So this is very important when you talk about customer delight. This is also engaging and making your customer feel happy that they are associated with your brand, right? So these kind of campaigns are again auto-generated campaign. Birthday 365 days में कभी भी आ सकता है. तो ऐसे नहीं कि आज से campaign शुरू और कल campaign खत्म या 2 महीने बाद campaign खत्म. It is a always on kind of campaign. Whereas Valentine's Day is not a always on campaign, it is a date specific campaign. स्टैंडर्ड प्रमोशनल कैंपेन सभी को पता है कि हम लोगों को मार्केटिंग प्लान मतलब कुछ ऑफर्स है, प्रमोशंस है, ये सब भेजना है, राइट? लॉयल्टी कैंपेन्स मतलब कि आप रेगुलरली आपके कस्टमर्स को अपडेट कर रहे हो कि मेंबरशिप पॉइंट्स कितना है, उनका टियर कौन सा है, ऑल ऑफ दोस काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स इज नथिंग बट योर कस्टमर एंगेजमेंट, एग्जिस्टिंग कस्टमर एंगेजमेंट कैंपेन्स. ट्रांजैक्शनल ड्रिप्स और ट्रांजैक्शनल कैंपेन्स मतलब अगर थोड़ा सा मॉडिफिकेशन भी होता है, जैसे ये बिग बास्केट का एग्जांपल है, 4 रुपए का to increase the transparency in the transaction. Transparency increase होने से क्या होता है? Brand value बढ़ती है. So these kind of campaigns are auto-generated campaigns. Again, they get triggered whenever the value of certain elements in the entire contact changes. अगर मेरा name change होता है तो suddenly मुझे mail आती है कि your name just got updated, right? So those are all transactional emails, very important for social care campaigns. Everybody would have come across this kind of campaigns. A message from CEO on COVID-19, Indigo, Make My Trip, Book My Show, Swiggy, Zomato, Marriott, हर एक ब्रांड ने, हर एक नोन ब्रांड ने एक सोशल केयर ईमेल भेजा है. सोशल केयर ईमेल से कस्टमर से आप कनेक्ट बनाए रखते हो कि इस दौरान वो क्या करने वाला है. इस दौरान अगर आपका मेक माई ट्रिप का बुकिंग है तो मेक माई ट्रिप क्या करेगा, इंडिगो का बुकिंग है, इंडिगो क्या करेगा, स्विगी क्या स्टेप्स ले रहा है, जोमैटो क्या स्टेप्स ले रहा है, राइट? व्हाट इज हैपनिंग? You all are aware of the situation and you become more aware because of that brand communicating with you, right? So it also showcases that brand cares for you as a customer and they want to keep you informed or updated. So these are social care campaigns. Like relief hua, cyclone hua, Kerala floods hue, if they are running some promotions for fund collection, all of those kind of campaigns, they are also part of the CSR activity. Tell me and I will forget. Show me and I may remember. Involve me and I will understand. So when you involve your customer, say आपका फोटो डाल के आपको स्विगी बता रहा है कि श्वेता, you've been ordering too much of pizza, and then you show it to your friends, they become very, very happy. So the moment you involve your customer in your entire communication bit, they are really very happy, right? So all the communication is about creating happy customers. At the end, I just want to tell you that nothing is exclusive. Social media and email aren't exclusive. All digital channels are interlinked. They weave together to give you a better strategy. अगर मैं email create कर रही हूँ और मेरा click action is going on a landing page, that page is going into my website. अगर मैं lead generation ad create कर रही हूँ where the lead generation form is on a social media page, so the leads are coming from social media. So your strategy has to be integrated. It's called integrated marketing communication. The messaging is same, but you are using all channels to achieve your business objective. So depending on industry type, the products and the services, the investment and the execution varies from one platform to another. At the end, I would just tell you that you have to combine all of these channels and use them for best of your advantage. You strategize, you optimize each of the channels, and then you socialize, and then you monetize for your business growth. That is what the digital is all about. And that brings us to the end of the presentation. I think we are already okay. It's 4:50. So we still have 10 minutes for question and answers. So Siddesh ji, please.
Sure. So thank you, Shweta ji. It was a very well-versed and thorough presentation. I'll be taking few questions जो मुझे मिले अभी chat boxes में.
Sure.
Is there any tool to check the buyer persona to get information about buyer's persona?
There isn't any tool. So if you have understanding of your database, meaning if you have understanding of आपको क्या क्या columns चाहिए आपके database में, the database is always arranged into rows and columns. Each of your contacts are arranged into rows and columns. So you want name of the person, you want company profile, you want location, you want birthday, you want anniversary. the way you arrange it is going to define your buyer's persona. There isn't any tool which will tell you that आपके product और services के लिए ये वाला buyer आपके लिए ideal है. आपको खुद को decide करना पड़ेगा कि आप क्या किसको बेचना चाह रहे हो, right? मतलब अगर मैं fashion designer हूँ और मैं कुर्तीज बना रही हूँ, तो I have to decide कि ये किसके लिए है.
Okay. One question is, can you suggest any good bulk email service provider who has a good inbox ratio?
So good inbox ratio, again, as I say, if you are an enterprise level client, then the best tool known is Eloqua and Marketo. They are like the best tools. I have worked on Eloqua. It's wonderful tool. All the deliverability, testing, everything is possible in one just one platform. You can create landing pages, you can integrate your website, everything you can do. If you are a startup, if you're a small medium businesses, then I listed few tools in my presentation. You can refer to those tools to get started. And inboxing of all of these are pretty good, so you can try these out.
There are multiple questions. I guess ये सारा जो भी एक when you spoke about multiple bulk email service providers, I guess उसमें आ जाएगा. I'll just go through the questions. आप बता देना कि if you want to cover it or not.
No, I think you can just randomly pick up the questions.
Okay, how do we start marketing automation?
So marketing automation मतलब जैसे हम लोग algorithmic trading करते हैं ना, वैसे ही है कि आप एक ट्रिगर पॉइंट डिसाइड करते हो और आपका ईमेल उस पॉइंट पे ट्रिगर होता है. तो अगर मैं समझ लो, I can say my welcome email is a automated, a single step automation. मतलब कि whenever I add a person to my database, he should get a welcome email. So I can start my marketing automation at the welcome stage itself. Then I can have single step automations going further कि अगर मैं birthday है तो उसको happy birthday और 10% discount का mail भेजो, right? So those are all single step automations. When I talk about multi step automation, then you need some advanced tools for it. मतलब कि वो एक नहीं 2-3 conditions check करेगा. It's like a flow chart कि अगर आपने एक email से interact किया है, उसको open किया है, तो उनको आप email 2.A भेजो. अगर interact नहीं किया तो उसको email 2.B भेजो. 2.B में अगर उसने क्लिक किया है लिंक पे और फॉर्म फिलअप किया है तो उसको 3.A भेजो. अगर नहीं भेजा है तो उसको 3.B भेजो. So it's like a step by step process and multiple trigger points are there. Those are called multi-step automation. Only the advanced tool or paid version. So now we are in a world where we call it freemium tool. Freemium tool मतलब कि certain features will be available for free. If you want advanced feature, you have to pay for it. So even if you talk about any of these tools listed here, they are all freemium tools. Matlab, up to these number of subscribers, up to certain features, they are free. If you want to have multi-step automation, you have to go for paid services.
Okay. Next question is, you spoke about multiple strategies like funnel strategy or a flywheel strategy. So the question here is, which strategy is more effective for industry?
Sorry, your voice was breaking. Can you please repeat?
Which strategy is more effective for a service-based industry?
Okay. So service-based industry, you first have to identify how frequently do you want to communicate with your customer. Okay, how frequently do you want to communicate with the customer, and if your services are everyday services or if it is once in 6 months kind of service, right? So if it is say courier services, which I might not use every day, but food delivery services, which I might use every day, right? So funnel and all is not going to work there. Then I have to use a flywheel कि रोज उनसे contact करो, रोज उनको update दो, रोज उनको mail भेजो, right? But if I have like a new service which is coming up, I have to start with a funnel कि पहले awareness create करो, फिर उसको new services के बारे में बताओ और फिर उसको conversion के लिए try करो.
Okay. One question is, should we send emails from our domain? Big campaigners like Flipkart, Big Basket, Dr. Batras use some junk domains.
They don't use junk domains, they use similar domains. What do you mean by similar domains? So see, Big Basket and Flipkart, their main business is online. So their flipkart.com website, it's their business, e-commerce business website. अगर बहुत सारा reporting spam आ गया flipkart.com पे, तो their entire website might pull down. So what they do is they register similar domains, which means they will have flipkartletters.com or flipkartmails.com or mailer.flipkart.com. So these are called similar domains which big strategists use to send promotional emails, so that अगर कोई उनको report spam करता है तो वो सब domain और वो similar domain blacklist होता है या वो pull down होता है. Your website doesn't get pulled down. It's a strategy used by bigger companies. So if you see in my inbox also, there will be email from flipkartletters.com. So you see these transactional emails are from flipkartletters.com. They are not coming from flipkart.com. But of course, flipkart.com will have his employee having an email address from flipkart.com. So many a times, this is the strategy used. It's called similar domain strategy.
Okay. Next question is, now a lot of people are spending time on WhatsApp. You still think email marketing still worth?
Yes, email is a medium which is not replaceable. Your WhatsApp data gets deleted, your WhatsApp account might get changed. You can pass on your phone to someone else to access your WhatsApp. But email is something which stays always in your inbox, first and foremost thing. Second thing is you can access email from multiple clients. Of course, WhatsApp also you can do, but then there is limitation and you have web versions and all of those things. So those are short messaging services. You cannot really do a marketing email campaign. You cannot create a creative with text and images so that it looks good and it leads to business conversion. Even there was a wave when people started WhatsApp marketing and people added you to thousands of groups, sending 300 pictures of kurtis and saris, very typical way from West India. But that didn't really work. Ultimately, what works is something which is not bugging you. So email is something you can check at your own leisure time and it stays in your inbox. WhatsApp messages get deleted if you don't back it up.
Okay. One wants to know about email scraping.
Email scraping, as I said, it's not legal. Of course, there are people practicing it in India and naming it as cold emails. For people who don't know what is email scraping, it's like hunting for email addresses. So if I know that, okay, Shweta Baid is working for a company called Intel.com, let me look for Shweta Baid's email address. And then I start hunting for, so if I left my digital footprint anywhere wherein my email can be found, then the Google search or the Bing search will try to get me that email address. Second thing, there are tools which will help you to guess the email address. What is the guessing of the email address? कि ठीक है मुझे पता है श्वेता बैद है and @intel.com है. So it will give me all permutation and combination. Shweta.baid, Shweta_baid, Shweta.b @intel.com. And then using some other verification and validation tools, I'll verify whether it's a right email address or not. So email scraping is practiced, but it is not legal and it is not one of the best practices. If you are looking for buying database, it is still considered legal in India. There are companies like directories who sell database like fundudata.com, zoominfo.com or dnbhoovers.com. They are the companies where you register, login and get the company's email addresses, because it's called cold calling or cold emails, wherein the company has listed themselves in those directories so that business opportunities can contact them.
Okay. Another question is how to avoid blacklisting a domain.
So as I said, there are many practices. We spoke about certain practices. User engagement is one of the most important things that you have to do. So when somebody gets blacklisted, a company domain, a company's IP address, that person's name, anything can get blacklisted. Meaning, once it is blacklisted, the email delivery will not happen at all. So what is a blacklist? Blacklist is a list of IPs or list of domains which is maintained by certain criminal monitoring systems, meaning crime monitoring systems across globe. Those are mostly open source community driven projects, and they have certain criteria. If this IP was sending erratic emails or maybe 1,000, 10,000 emails in one day and 4 days nothing, so consistency is not there or those kind of things, then they list you in that particular list saying that there is inconsistency or there is robot generated emails. and it gets blacklisted. So there are many lists by different communities on different criterias. So if you don't want to get blacklisted, you have to ensure that your content is good. You are not using spam content. Secondly, you are consistent with your efforts. Your consistency, relevancy, and content are something which will help you build reputation. If your reputation goes down, if people are reporting you as a spammer, if people are not interacting with your email, then there is a chance that you get blacklisted.
Okay. Next question is, while sending an email through Gmail account, can one understand where our message has landed, in spam or in promotions? And if it has landed in inbox, how do we know whether the person has opened the email or not?
So as I said, Gmail is not, it's an email client. It's not an email marketing software which can track the open and delivery rate. Okay. So you use Gmail to send emails one-on-one, right? But when you want to send email to 10,000 and 20,000 people, then you need to use these kind of tools which will help you in tracking. So on Gmail, you really don't know whether person opened or not. You remember this part? If you send it using your own free inbox provider, you cannot track the emails.
Okay. Here, this question, it might, be useful for all. A lot of people they have used databases, which they have collected from their clients over the years. Can they check the validity of the email address? Is there any tool available?
So there are verification and validation tools. The free tools, of course, don't give you a foolproof report, but then there are paid tools which will ping on that particular email address and revert back with saying that whether the email address is existing or not. So there are those kind of tools available in the market. I think you can just search and you can register. It's all, mostly the paid tools are pretty good with that.
Okay. This is a specific question where this member is using MailChimp.
Okay.
She's asking that I don't want to use MailChimp, etc. to send emails to my prospective customer base. My major clientele is based out of India. So how can I send them emails from Gmail by not being blocked?
No. So as I said, best practice says that if you are in a if you're marketing to a country which is in implicit permission zone, then only you can send emails. Otherwise, you cannot send emails to those countries. If you are sending Gmail from your Gmail, if you're sending one-on-one email, it is called cold calling. So some countries allow cold calling, some countries don't allow cold calling. So in United States, it's common to have cold calling even for bulk mails, but not in European countries. So if I have to say cold emails, so it will tell you whether it's legal or not. Yeah, where is that? Yeah, so it's illegal. So the short answer is yes, as long as email address adheres with CAN spam compliance, it is okay. So it is a very gray area whether it's legal or not.
Okay.
Is this clear? Yeah.
Another question is, he wants to ask is his domain got blacklisted.
Okay.
And any way to release it?
Yes, so there are tools which will allow you to check whether your domain is blacklisted and in which list. As I said, there are several lists which will blacklist your domain. So you have to check which list is blacklisting you for some kind of error or from some kind of mistake, right? So you check the purpose and then apply for whitelisting. It takes about 24 to 48 hours for whitelisting. Sometimes penalty is associated with whitelisting process. So if it was by mistake that you got blacklisted कि आपने पहली बार email भेजना शुरू किया है और 10,000 लोगों को भेजा है जिससे 300 लोग non responding थे and you got blacklisted, then that is just a error. So maybe you will not pay penalty. But if it is a robotic action or something like that where you were dealing with a very huge volume of data, then you have to pay penalty and get yourself whitelisted.
This is a specific thing. I'll just read it.
Yeah, I think we can just take 2 more questions.
Yes.
Teji.
Yes. We have very few questions left.
Okay.
Here he wants to say is, I would like to mention one thing, that audience email application usage. When we are talking about audience segmentation, content delivery, one thing needs to be taken care of is audience email application usage and be incorporated while creating audience. For example, CEOs, CXOs, and other business professionals default inbuilt email application of iOS or Android. As platform doesn't load content or content goes for a toss. How to take care of that?
No, so your text-based content, whether you give it to iOS email client or Android email client, it doesn't get lost. If the email is delivered, then the text will be delivered. However, the images might not be set to auto download. If the email is delivered, the content will be delivered, but which part of the content is blocked is what you need to understand. So one thing that you could probably study is what kind of platforms that your users are using. That is something that can be tracked by advanced monitoring tools, where you can check if 10 people opened email on mobile phone and 15 people opened on desktop, or 10 people opened on just Safari OS, or they use the email client on your iPhone, right? So once you track that kind of behavior, it becomes much easy.
Okay.
So some user settings is something which we cannot do. As an email marketer, you are able to control only certain aspect. Say for example, a company firewall is blocking all emails from abc.com, and if I'm marketing from abc.com, my email will never go through that firewall. So that setting is something which is beyond my control.
Okay. Another question. He wants to know, is email marketing is still relevant for e-commerce business of consumer goods? As you can see, a lot of people are doing promotional emails, and it just goes on, and people have stopped checking promotional emails.
So as I said, that we are in the integrated marketing domain. We are using same message through our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and email when we are making any promotion. Wherever it triggers the bell, that is what we want. Ultimately, our business objective is conversion, right? We want people to buy through those email, through those platforms. So say, for example, big Flipkart is doing a big billion sale, then Flipkart will, of course, flash it a maximum number of times on its Flipkart app. But it does not want to miss the channel of email marketing, where it will also talk about people, where it will also talk about little more details about dates and when it is happening. So you do a multi-channel marketing on that scale when you're talking about big type of e-commerce businesses.
Okay. So this is the last question which I'm taking.
Okay.
Now, after going hearing your session, a lot of people might be doing email marketing by themselves, or they might be hiring an agency for that. What do you, as per your suggestion, what do you think, what should be the KRAs before finalizing an agency?
Okay. So as I said, that there are 4 elements that we should be keeping in mind for email marketing. So let me just go back to that slide. Yeah, 4 essential components. So when you are hiring an agency, you have to understand out of these things what you want the agency to do for you. From strategy planning and market research to audience management, is that what you want the agency to do for you? To content creation like graphics designing, aligning with your theme, layout, color combinations according to your logo, making some interesting graphics and text content, some GIF files or something like that, and configuration of the tools, reporting, analysis, which campaign did better. So out of these 4 components, where in your agency role comes into play. So if you have an in-house marketer who decides for the strategy, okay, my strategy is every month there should be a newsletter, and whenever there is a new product release, I want to send one campaign. Of course, you need someone to do the list management on a regular basis. Okay, list management is something that has to be done on a regular interval, so that the bounce rate or the undelivered email or engagement doesn't go down, and you do not have a bad list of people. And content creation, you can hire them as and when your campaign is designed, or you could also hire a consultant wherein your plan is decided, a little bit of configuration is tool configuration is done, and they try transfer the knowledge to your audience or to your in-house people to do the further campaigns. So it could be a contractual monthly contract where they maintain regular content creation, tool management, and audience management. It could be from scratch where they help you with strategizing and deciding how to plan your emails. Or it could be only the execution level where your in-house graphics designer who's also doing your brochures, website, and everything, and you just ask them, because you don't have in-house people who has knowledge of tool, you just pass on the content कि ये वाला email 10 लोग ये वाले segment को भेज देना, ये वाला email इनको भेज देना. So you can decide what level of interaction you want to have or where you want to engage that creative agency, because that agency can do everything depending on your requirement. The cost varies, how much budget you have, and what is your in-house capability. Depends on all of those factors.
Okay, so I'm closing the Q&A round here.
Okay.
Shweta ji, aap please apna, you can share your email ID and contact details.
Yeah. So as I said, this is a web session where you probably can see me, but I cannot see you. So it would be nice if you could just give me your feedback on my social media channels. Shell Digital is my company, www.shelldigital.com, and you can drop me a mail if you have any inquiries. That's it.
Thank you
And
so
I hope
much.
it was informative, and we'll stay connected. Wish you all the best. And
Yes,
good
Shweta
luck
ji,
with
it was a
digital
wonderful
marketing.
session and it was very thorough, and I am 100% sure जिन लोगों को ईमेल मार्केटिंग से जिन्होंने सुना होगा, now they are well versed email marketing क्या होती है, strategies क्या होती है, and what they should look for before reaching out to their prospective clients. And this is a general message to all the participants. I'll be sharing the recording as well as the PPT soon. And we are also having a very special webinar in coming days, where we are inviting the General Manager for Central Bank of India, who will be sharing multiple reforms which are available to MSMEs. उनकी डिटेल्स मैं आपको एक दो दिनों में भेज दूंगा. I'll share it over WhatsApp and email. And Vijay Jiravla to please say vote of thanks. Vijay ji, I'll just unmute you. Just hold on. Yes, Vijay ji.
Thank you so much, Shweta ji.
Thank
Very
you.
nice to hear you, and it was a really excellent session.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much for your quality and time inputs you have given to the members and community. So thank you so much, friends, for joining. I hope you liked the session. As Shweta ji said, please send your feedback and attend our next webinar on banking. Thank you so much, Siddesh and team. Thank you. Thank you, Shweta ji.
Thank you, Vijay ji.
Thank you so much,
Shweta ji.
everyone.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
We are ending
Yeah,
the session.
bye.
Thanks
Yeah,
a lot for
thank you.
coming.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.